Welcome to Wilson's channel.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another podcast segment. This is Chat with Wilson. I'm your host, Wilson. This is episode 11 featuring Cherry, aka cherrykrngirl. What's up, Cherry?
Hi, how are you going?
What's happening? Glad to have you here. Appreciate you for taking the time to join the podcast. Finally, I should say.
Of course, thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, it's about time. We met back in like late 2021, and
yeah, like
around
November,
there.
I think. Yeah, November.
Yeah, so this podcast has been out for a while. You've
Mhm.
even seen it before the rebrand too, so you know what we're gonna talk about. Just a lot of things relative to life.
Yeah, a lot of things.
Okay, and guys, thanks for tuning in. Whether you're the live audience or if you guys are watching this on YouTube, appreciate y'all. Alerts are offline. We do have two special commands. The first one is exclamation podcast. In short, it's a summary of why I host these podcasts, and it's for me to get to know my friends on a more personal level, and just to have a platform just to like truly express ourselves and just to talk about various topics relative to life, as I mentioned. And then we got exclamation guest, which is a direct link to Cherry's Twitch channel. She is a comeback streamer, finally got a PC, so she's able to stream. If you guys haven't already followed, please make sure to do so. We'll talk about streaming and lots of things, okay? All right, cool. Let's get started with I like to do like a little icebreaker, so I can do that. We'll use Phantom's question. So he asked, where did your username originate from?
So basically, I have a childhood friend. She was using that username like pretty much all the time, and I wasn't like as creative, and I liked the ID that she was using, and so then I was like, okay, like I'll just like I asked her if I could take it, and she said sure, since it was like an old username of hers. So I just decided to take it. But unfortunately, that username has translated into something a little bit more interesting than I thought it would be. So
What do you mean by that?
so basically, like it's so funny because the KRN in the middle of my username, it's supposed to stand for Korean. And so my full ID is Cherry Korean Girl. But whenever I like rated other people, or like whenever I was like with other people, like people would pronounce it corn instead. So I got branded as Cherry Corn Girl instead of Cherry Korean Girl. And so I've just been unfortunately the original meaning of my ID has been gone, and now I've just been rebranded as Cherry Corn Girl. Still exists, but I'm just more known as Cherry Corn Girl than I am Cherry Korean Girl. So
I feel like some people do catch on that it's meant to be Korean girl, right?
yeah.
So it's just now you have like multiple options when it comes to your name, and you're definitely you seem to be cool with it now.
I'm chilling. At first, like, I was like, I don't know why people are calling me corn, but I've gotten other names too, where like I've become Cherry Kernel Girl, Cherry Cream Girl, Cherry Night Girl. Like it's like
a lot.
It's become a whole different thing.
Okay,
it's original.
So, question about that: do you like cherries?
I do like cherries.
Would you say it's your favorite fruit?
No, actually.
Okay. That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, I like strawberries more.
Okay. Do you like corn?
Yeah, I do.
All right. Accepted it. Got it. Okay. Is red your favorite color?
No, actually it isn't. My favorite color is blue.
Oh, your mom.
Very opposite.
Your mom's on the side.
Oh.
Okay. Tech pause. It's okay.
We're good.
Okay.
We're good.
Special guest to the podcast. Brought a special guest.
I warned her, but she's just
okay.
sure
But
okay.
she's cool.
She's chill. Right. I told her.
Wonderful. So we're gonna get started with podcast questions. I like to start from the very beginning when it
Mhm.
comes down to your life, your childhood. But before we get into that, let's get a brief introduction. So please let me know like some of your hobbies and interests, and yeah, just everything about you.
So my name is Cherry, but my IRL name is Ashley. I live in the same area as Wilson. I live in NorCal. Hobby wise, I've always been into like the creative arts. Like I've been into dancing, singing, music. Been into painting as well. Also like going to the gym and exercising. I'm more of like a jack of all trades, master of none. If you ask me if I've done it, I have probably done it before. So that's a little thing to know about me. I am 100% Korean. That's pretty much how my name came to be because I am Korean. And that's pretty much all that I can think of as my current identity for now.
Okay, so personality wise, how would you describe yourself? And would you say you're more introverted or extroverted?
Um, I would say I'm a mix of both. But I would definitely say I lean more towards the extroverted side still. Like, I love going out, meeting new people, like talking to them and just like hanging out, chilling. I would definitely say, like, when I'm outside, I like to stay outside, but when I'm inside, I will stay inside for days unless
Hmm.
somebody calls me out. So,
Okay. What would you say your day to day is like? How would you describe that?
my day to day, so I would get up at like maybe 6:30, 7 in the morning, go to work and then do work, get off work, go do lunch, be back to work, finish work, go to the gym if I feel like it, and
Hmm.
then finish with the gym and then come home and then I would just de-stress pretty much while I'm at home.
Okay, okay.
Mhm.
Um, oh yeah, guys, heads up. Thanks for being here. I think there's a bug going on because there's no way for me to just turn off the commands, or at least I didn't. So I don't know why it's not working. But thanks for modding and everyone. Appreciate y'all. Alerts are offline though. All right, let's talk about your childhood and your upbringings in life. Talk about the significance of it and paint us this like a story of just how you grew up.
Sure. So basically, I've pretty much lived in the same area all my life, pretty much just in this little area. The only thing that I can tell you about my area is that it's famous for a huge corporate company. That's pretty much all I can tell. Um, like I always went to public school, elementary school, middle school, and high school. One crazy thing that a lot of people find like that's like you're lying, like they think I'm lying about it, but actually when I was in elementary school, middle school, and high school, I actually had no friends. I was very much a floater. Like I didn't really stick with one group. I just went around from like one group to another. Never really had like a steady group of friends. Was pretty much alone a lot in my school years. And so,
Wow. Mm-hmm.
yeah, I was pretty much like I never really like knew what it was like to fully enjoy like hanging out with friends like outside of school when I was in like the school days, elementary, middle, and high school. I was pretty much like I was pretty much a studious person. Always trying to keep up with like expectations. I have an older brother, and so he's only older than me by a year. But like with a lot of the classes that I had, they always had my brother before they had me, and so they already had this like set built-in expectation of like what I would be like because they already had my brother, and so it was just me trying to like play catch up and like keep up with a lot of what expectations like these teachers of mine had for my brother, but it wasn't in my best interest
Mm-hmm.
that they would like try to like push me and stuff. Like comments that they would say a lot would be like, well, how come you're not like your brother? Like, how come you didn't do this paper properly? Or like, your brother did so well on this project. Like, how come like you did this project like you're like this way? And it was like a lot of it was difficult. Yeah, I would say it that way.
They're comparing you
Also,
guys. Okay.
yeah, a lot of comparison. So that's why like I'm always just like, oh, like I don't know if I'm doing this okay or if I'm doing this properly, because like I'm always like being questioned. Like I was just always questioned in general when I was in school. A huge part of my child was actually 4th to 6th grade. My teachers like self-diagnosed me as like, how would you say it? 4th to 6th grade, I was like diagnosed as like socially incompetent. Like not not stupid enough to be in the special ed class, but not smart enough to be in the normal class, is like how they would basically like categorize me. And so that like really affected how like I interacted with people or how people interacted with me, because like kids growing up, they only wanted to be with like who they deemed as like the normal kids. So that's when like I started being by myself a lot, and like a lot of the things that happened in elementary school, like I went to middle school with those kids, and then that would spread, and then nobody would want to hang out with me, and then that spread to high school, and then nobody wanted to hang out with me. So that's how life it was like for me in school, just pretty much by myself, just studying school, just trying to do my best to keep up with like expectations and losing myself in the process.
Wow. Okay. That was a brief rundown, which I appreciate. Before I get to that, Derek, thank you for the follows, and Leslie, I appreciate you for the resub. Thank you so much, guys. Questions about what you mentioned so far. What do you mean by they self-diagnosed? Because
So
how would word get out like that to the entire class or just like your peers, and then for you to just be socially distanced from them?
yeah, so basically in 4th grade, my teacher, I don't know why, he just had a very huge dislike for me. And so then he never tried to hide that basically. And so he made it a point to make me an example of his class for his like authority and stuff like that. And so I was basically his guinea pig and used as an example. Like the teacher never like talked to my mom, never suggested that I go like get tested or anything of the sort, or just to see. Like he just basically like self-diagnosed me and said like, oh, like there's something socially wrong with your daughter. Like she's not in like she's not socially and like she's socially inept. Like she doesn't know how to
Mm-hmm.
interact with people properly. And so that really affected the way that I was growing up, because like my teacher made it an example to like kind of bully me, I guess you can say it that way. And he was never prosecuted or persecuted for that. So
So I'd imagine that you were too young to understand what was going on, like, but the fact that your parents were also informed about that or involved, how did they respond?
so my mom, thank God for my mom. Like I love her to death. Like she basically like took it upon herself to like take me to a psychiatrist to just see if that was, and they basically told her like there's nothing wrong with your daughter. Like she's
Mm-hmm.
just socially a little bit slow, but like that's just a part of like growing up and maturing and like getting to where she needs to be. And so like I but like no matter how much like I was told that, like of course like when you're at school, it's like teachers and like students and like they're all telling you like the exact same message over and over and over again. And so then like it was hard for me to think of myself as normal then.
Yeah, it
Like
gets to you.
yeah, like I just kept on thinking like, oh, there's something wrong with me. Like I'm not good enough to like hang out with people, or like I'm not like perfect enough, is like what I kept thinking. And so
Mm-hmm. Oh, kudos to your mom for at least taking it upon herself to find a professional to let you
Yeah.
know. And I'm sure she was like your backbone and everything, but it's tough.
Mhm.
I get that when you're like in that public setting, your mom's not there. It
Yeah.
just like, yeah, definitely traumatizing, I'd imagine, just
Mhm.
going through that phase.
Yeah, like I lost myself. Like I didn't know who I was. Like I was like striving after like all the expectations that were like kept of me between like my teachers, like the setting that my brother had left before I even got there, and like even just like even within myself, it was just like, oh, like I gotta strive, like I gotta be better, like I gotta like get there, but like it was just never enough in my opinion, and so
So looking back though, how would you describe what you were like actually? Not how they perceived you, but you alone. And then how did you kind of kill time throughout those years while spending all that time alone?
so thank God for my mom. She acted as my friend and as my sister, and like she would try to like make up the time that like I didn't have friends, and like she would like ask me like, "Do you want to go shopping? Do you want to go get 7-Eleven? Like, do you want to go do something?" and stuff like that. And so like my mom was definitely like a huge backbone for me then, just to fill up time. And then I'm so sorry. What was the other question that you were asking?
Okay, so she was practically your best friend, like someone that you could lean on and just have
Li-
support by. Um,
Literally growing up, yeah.
yeah, yeah. My question was just, what was your personality like, or like what? How did you go about it?
I was actually very quiet. Like I didn't
Mm,
like I wasn't as like wild or crazy or as like outgoing or like smiling or like laughing a lot. I was actually like I would put on like masks or like faces to be like, "Oh, I'm okay. I'm fine. Like nothing's going on with me. Like everything is okay." But in reality, like on the inside, I was like dying. Like I was like I don't know like yeah, like it was definitely hard times.
dang. So you literally just kept to yourself, right? Because I'm imagining like it might be stereotypical from movies where there's like a loner kid just like eating on his own or just being to themselves and just like letting time go by. Is that basically how you lived your youth in school?
E Pretty much. I like as I said, like I was a floater, so I would float from like group to group, and it's like unless like and like even with the groups, I would keep to myself. Like I wouldn't talk too much because there was this like instilled fear in me, I guess, that like I was like just automatically being judged of like people thinking like, oh, like she's weird, like don't talk to her, or
Hmm.
because like as I said, like elementary, middle school, and high school, like everybody like went to the same schools as I did, so they literally heard everything that happened in elementary school, and so there's no way to reverse that once like that first impression is set, and so it was just
Yeah.
me suffering all throughout my school years.
So your teacher basically created that reputation and it stuck with you. Is basically what you're saying.
Pretty much so, yeah.
Oh man. So as a floater, since you were still able to just like go around and at least be in the presence of other kids that I guess somehow or like somewhat accepted you, what was it like being in those groups?
Hmm.
Like although everyone knows like of your reputation, who you are, and probably judge you on the inside or maybe even like in your face, but like how did you go about hanging out with them?
I just put on a face and I was just like, huh, okay. Like they would try to like they're like I'm grateful for some of them where they didn't have these like stereotypical ideas of like what I was based off of what elementary school was like, but it was still painful in the sense that like it wasn't them, it was just me basically being like, oh, like what if these people think of me this way? Like what if these people think of me that way? Like I'm not like am I good enough to talk to them? Like am I good enough to like be here? Like I can't even like it hurt because like I knew like I wanted to get closer to them, so like I would be the one to open up first. And then like I would be like, hey, like I like have this like little thing going on, but then that little thing eventually just like spread like a wildfire. Like they wouldn't, like I would tell them like, oh, could you keep it a secret please, but like it never turned out that way, and like whatever I was going through just eventually just like spread throughout the group. And like I realized, oh, I am being judged here, and then I would immediately just like leave, just like cut it off, no buys, no nothing.
Uh-huh.
And so it was pretty much that cycle all throughout school of me me being with like this group, me trying to get close to them, and then me eventually having to like cut it off and then just leave and like be friendless again.
Dang, so you would literally not have any real ones, huh? So, cause I'd imagine if you were to cut your friends off without saying word, if they truly cared, someone would kind of want to at least try to reach out.
Yeah,
No, that
I
wasn't
had
the case.
nobody.
Mm-hmm.
No, I had nobody. Like nobody ever like tried to like be like, hey, like how are you? Like are you okay? Like I'm so sorry that happened to you. There's like no closure whatsoever for me.
Yeah.
But if I look back on it, I don't think I would have it any other way because it wouldn't have built me into the person I am today.
Valid. Yeah, that's dang strong sense of understanding and just like accepting all of those. I definitely can imagine how it builds character. So
Mhm.
yeah, thanks for being here, everyone. By the way, the live audience. So we're just continuing with the podcast right now, learning about Cherry's upbringings. I know it wasn't like all that good and stuff. We could definitely talk on like specifics, but I do want to also know, how did you perform academically in school, and what were you involved with? Like, if anything, clubs, activities, sports, you know?
Oh, I was pretty average in school. Like it
Mm-hmm.
was like I hated academics. Like I was at a school where like you just had to like academically excel at everything, and it was like
High standards.
very high standards. Like it was to the point like our school had no valedictorians because like there is
Whoa.
like a good amount of our school that was getting like 4.0 GPAs and over. Like it was like, and like I even heard that like colleges actually hated our high school because once people graduated and went to those colleges, they would say like, "Oh, like it's so much easier here because like high school was like that much difficult." And so like academically, like trying to keep up with my brother who was also in that cusp of students was definitely difficult for me. And so I was always struggling to be like my brother because I had no other role models to follow because I wasn't really like talking to anybody. So there was
Yeah.
definitely that. Um I would say after school wise, I was actually involved in our dance club. Like I was part of the hip hop club at our school, and like that's where I first had a passion for dancing, and it was a lot of fun. Like I think that was like the only space where I could feel like myself for once and allowed myself to like experiment with things, and like perfection was not the priority. And so I had a lot of fun there.
Okay, that's at least something, but being a part of that just means that's like your social circle as well, right? You would be involved in like activities with the other dancers and just like shows possibly.
Kinda.
Yeah,
I
so what
mean,
was that like meshing with that group, since you technically didn't really have, like go-to friends or anything?
yeah, I would literally just be there. Like I would interact with the other dancers there from time to time, and like thankfully there's like there's like a couple people that still like interacted with me, gave me tips on dancing, etc. But
Hmm.
like I wouldn't try to talk to them outside of that because I was just insecure and scared of like opening up again and just being like, oh, like what if what if what I open up about spreads again? Like what if I'm judged for what I talk about again? So it was just always that pretty much.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like you were acquainted with them and just like keeping to yourself while just being involved.
Yeah. If I was honest, like back in school, I was desperate for friends. I wanted friends. Like as much as I love my mom and appreciate my mom, she's not the same generation that I am, so she wouldn't have understood like some of the struggles that like you go through in that particular generation. And I was so desperate, and so it was just a vicious cycle of me just like opening up about little things, and then I end up getting hurt, and then I cut myself off from that. And so then with this group, at least, I just kept to myself a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was scared to open up about things that I was going through. And so then it just turned into this habit of me just like bottling things up and just like not saying a lot of things.
Yeah. And just like a random question, although you had a
Mhm.
horrible experience with like the teacher from back like in your earlier years, did you connect with any other adults at least?
Nope.
Got it. All right. So I have a better understanding of what your school life was like. How was it
Mhm.
for you at home then? Just growing up, like what were your what was your relationship with your brother back then, and then even your parents? Like I know your mom was super like close to you, of course, but how did she handle kind of like discipline and just, just
Oh,
being a mom more than a friend?
oh, I think the worst time was definitely like teenage years when I turned like 13, 14. Like
Okay.
every single like I'm like just to highlight that specifically, literally every day it was almost like World War III in my household. Like
Hmm.
I would like there were times where like I got so mad and frustrated with my parents and my brother, I would literally just like be like, okay, I need to go out on a walk. I'll be right back, and I would just like leave the house. And there were times where I actually debated on just like just packing stuff and just like going to another house and like staying with relatives or whatever.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
it's definitely I like as much as I am close with like my mom and like my brother and my dad, like it's very hard to talk to them a lot because they're very opposite personalities. I've actually talked to you about this before, Wilson. But
Hmm.
my brother, my mom, and my dad all have very similar Myers-Briggs personality types. They're all introverts, they're very logical, reasoning people, they're not as like emotional and all that. And then me, I'm like all the way like out here like polar opposite. Like I'm very extroverted, like I like being with people, like I'm very emotional, like very feelings. And so growing up, like trying to like talk to my parents or like trying to talk to my brother was a lot like trying to talk to walls because they
That's
were
one way to put it. Yeah.
because like
Keeping it real. Hmm.
no, it's so it's like now that I look back on it, it was kind of funny but also kind of hurtful at the same time because
Yeah.
like I would be crying and I'm like, oh, like this happened today, like why are you reacting this way? And then my brother would be like, why are you reacting so sensitively? Because for me, when it comes to particular situations, it's like my brother would be like, okay, my brother, my mom, and my dad would all be like, okay, like with this situation, like how can we resolve it? Like what can we do about it? But the way that I thought about particular situations was just more like, okay, like how did I feel about that situation? How am I feeling right now? Like how am I gonna like how do I feel about this resolution? So it was a lot of like miscommunication and like trying to like let them know like this is how I'm feeling pretty much.
Hmm. Has that changed over time, or how has your relationship evolved like since you've gotten older?
I realized like it took a lot of education. Like I had to tell my mom and my brother specifically. My brother at least is a little bit more open because we are of similar generations, so he kind of understood where I come from. And then also like my brother kind of saw like what struggles I was going through, so at least like I can talk to him about things. Like it's a
Hmm.
love-hate relationship with my brother. Like I love him so much. Like it's thanks to him, and he let me borrow his PC while I was streaming when I didn't have one, so don't shit on him. He's so nice for that.
We're
But
not gonna shit on anyone. It's okay.
I know, but like just don't shit on
Okay.
him. Just like, but with my but with my mom, it took actually quite a bit of education. Like I told my mom, like, mom, this is like how I want you to talk to me. and like this is how I feel, and that this is how I process things, and like I hope you understand like this is happening. It's still like in the process of like being talked about, and like I'm just trying to get her to understand. But like she's getting there, and so is my dad. So it's still going on.
Okay. So I noticed that you do talk a lot more so about your mom. Is
Hmm.
like when it comes to your dad, are you guys just not as close, or how would you describe
My
that relationship?
my dad is a very typical. I don't know if I could say typical. My dad is a very Asian dad.
Like
He's
traditional?
very traditional. He's very like breadwinner, like go out of the house, like take care of everything else. And like my mom is very like take care of the children, take care of like house and like all that other things. And so like I still talk to my dad, but like my dad is always busy. Like he is very workaholic mindset. So like I never had the full chance to like be fully open with my dad.
I see.
Hmm.
Oh, okay, okay. So that's like the family dynamic even today.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. All right. So just talk about what the transition was like when you went from high school to college. Like, what was your mindset? Like, what did you want to do, and what ended up happening?
College, that transition. Um, so when it came to college, like I actually didn't know what I wanted. I applied for a lot of universities and like only got into maybe three or four of the ones that I wanted to get into, and then I got invited for university day for one of them actually. And so I was down in LA to go to college for that. But my friend was going to this other college that I got accepted into, and so I wanted to stop by and say hi. But it was so interesting because as soon as I like stepped foot out onto that campus, like I had this vision of myself just like walking on the campus fields, and I'm like, this is like my first time here. Like I've never been here, but like it still feels familiar for some reason. And so I actually like met up with her, like gave her some food or stuff just to like say hi as a greeting, since that's just what Koreans do. And then I went to the university day at the other college. But for some reason, like I couldn't get my head out of this college that I had stepped foot on, and that felt so familiar to me. And so I actually ended up committing to that college and not the college that I had the university day at. And so when I was there, like I thought I was destined to like be in med school or like be a doctor or be a nurse, like be in the medical field, because almost everybody in my family that I know of was either a nurse or doctor. Like my uncle is a doctor, like pretty much like two or three of my aunts are nurses, like my cousin's a pharmacist, like my brother went to nursing school. Like I thought I was destined for that as well, and so that's where I went. But then I was failing so bad. Like I was dying. I was depressed. I was crying. I was anxious. I was like, "Oh my gosh, like I don't think this is for me. Like what am I doing? Like where am I supposed to go and all that?" And so I talked to a lot of the friends that I made in college around me, and I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, where am I supposed to go? Like, what am I supposed to do? And so I like just sat and I was just like, okay, Ashley, what are you gonna do with your life? Like, where are you gonna go? And so I was starting to think about like maybe I can go into teaching, or maybe I can go into marketing and like other things. But I was like, I don't think I'll have patience with kids. Like, I don't think I'll be the greatest teacher. And so I ended up going into communication studies. And if I was to emphasize what my major was, it's communication studies with an emphasis in interpersonal and rhetorical communication. So, what that basically meant was that I study how people communicate with each other and how, like, it differentiates from person to person, like verbals versus nonverbals, like trying to figure out how to best send a message and receive a message, try to figure out what the other person wants in regards to communications and etc. And so it's a lot of fun once you study that, because you start to psychoanalyze almost every single little thing that goes around you. So,
Wow. So
mhm.
did your like you mentioned that your family were very prominent in like the medical field. That's how they grew up and got in. That's what they got in. Was there like
Yeah.
an influence where your family was like, were they controlling of what you should like do in your life?
No, that was just an inset expectation of me. So
Uh
actually, after I had my mindset on changing my expectation on my major, I actually, oh God, I might start to tear up a little bit after mentioning this, but like I actually called my mom and like I told her like, you know what, like mom, I'm so sorry. Like I don't think I can become like a doctor or a nurse like you and dad wanted me to. And like my mom was just like you're you're destined for other great things and like that's totally fine. Like you have a separate path compared to everyone else and that's okay. And so I was just like,
this
oh,
is great
like
news.
that
Supportive,
was, yeah, that was like a weight
understanding.
off my yeah, that was like a weight off my chest. I was like, oh my gosh. So yeah, was really grateful for my mom to be so accepting of that then. My dad on the other hand, he was a little bit more like you make it through the hard times, like you got it, like this is like just a mountain that you just need to climb over and stuff like that, but I was
Like toughen
down
up.
there. Yeah, toughen up. Like I was like down in the emotional gulags, just like crying my heart out and just being like, I am dying here, I'm not destined for this for sure. So
Yeah, but
but
you
my dad,
eventually found something that you like,
yeah,
which is
yeah,
awesome.
eventually, yeah, my dad eventually came around and he was like, oh, okay, I see what you're doing and stuff like that. So
Okay, so that's what you studied during your time in college. Did your social circles change or were you also involved in other things? Like what was college life actually like?
whew, uh college life, I would say college definitely defined me into a better person. Like I would definitely say like with college, that's when my social skills started to bloom because I was surrounded by a lot of friends that understood that I was still slow on the social uptake and that they would like kind of educate me like socially like this is acceptable, socially this is like not acceptable, like here are some social cues you might need to keep up with and all that. And so like having people be fully patient and fully understanding of me was good. And like I had like multiple circles or like multiple individuals that I was very close with, and so like it kind of helped me expand the way that like I interacted with people and like talked with people. And it was, I would say college years was definitely one of the best years of my life after everything that I had gone through.
Yeah, that's awesome. You actually talked about it with me before how because of your history, you've learned a lot or no, you've started experiencing things a lot later compared to everyone, especially in the social aspects. But
Mm-hmm.
you saying that you've learned from people like specific social cues or social understandings, was there anything particular that you felt like was very important like to learn that you just didn't realize until college years? Those college years, yeah.
um, the concept of space was not in my brain until college. So sometimes like I had no spatial awareness of like what it meant to be like not too close to somebody. And so like sometimes sometimes like when I talk to somebody or say hi to somebody, like I would literally be like this close, like no space,
Oh, like physically, okay.
like I would just be like, "Hi, nice to meet you." Like literally, it was like two hands, like can only fit in there. So I was just like, "Hi,"
Oh my
but
god, what the fuck? Okay, yeah.
honestly, like if there's anybody that hated like not having space, like I would just be like, it was so funny because when I see my friends and like they see me like doing this, they're just like
Uh-huh.
little bit more space, little bit more space, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh, oh, okay, I see.
That's hella funny because I see like prank videos of that. I've seen prank videos on YouTube and like TikTok before where you just get into people's personal spaces while introducing yourself and then how they
Yeah.
react to that. So that was you, but it wasn't a prank.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but how socially dense I was, like it's to the like This is gonna be so funny. This is gonna
Mhm.
be so awkward. This is gonna paint me really badly. But like, you know how in elevators everybody is like always pointed towards the door to like get out as soon as possible? I would always just like get in the elevator, but I would face the back of the elevator and just lean my back on the wall like closest to the door. So it was basically like if this is the door and like these are like this is the wall without buttons and then this is the wall with
Yeah,
buttons.
yeah,
I would lean on the wall without buttons and just face the back and it was just the most awkward thing ever.
So it's awkward because you're facing the people. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
actually a
Okay.
psychological thing. Yeah, I actually had to learn that in my major of like, like this is psychologically acceptable, but this is psychologically not acceptable. And I was
Nah,
like,
I
oh,
understand. I see. I see.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Would you say even today you're still learning about like a lot of social cues and stuff like that?
Oh, for sure. I feel like I'm always like learning and developing better ways to communicate with people.
Hmm.
And like I think like communicating with people is like not something that you should stop learning about. It's something that you need to continually learn and grow and develop and
Yeah.
like there's no like one true way of like communicating with somebody. And so it's like whenever you meet
Well
somebody
said.
new, you're always learning like a new way to communicate with somebody. So it's always like a new learning experience every new person that you meet with. So
Hmm. Nice. Yeah. True. Very, very true. I've seen like personally knowing you for a few years, right? Like you've definitely grown in that regard. I've noticed like changes for sure.
hmm
So it's very interesting to you for you to be able to like specify what you've learned and how you've adapted, especially during those crucial years. Like
hmm
even though it's like later than others.
yeah, I feel like it's never late to start learning how to communicate better with people. It's never too
Hmm.
late.
Yeah.
So
All right. So that was basically a gist of your college years, upbringings, at least throughout your childhood and everything.
mhm.
We could probably just transition there or from there. You want to talk about your work experiences, like from the very first one up until like where you're at and what you've learned from each of those?
Oh my god. I'm so sorry. I'm laughing about my work experiences because I know I you've heard about my work experiences. You know how shitty they were. So but
I only remember the
basically
recent one, so go ahead, do tell.
so my first company, so I was struggling to find work for about 2 or 3 years after I graduated college. Like I was like nothing is working, like I can't find anything. I didn't intern anywhere, so I had a very different kind of way to find a job and stuff. But
First job, right? We're talking about first job?
my very first job,
Okay.
I think it was back in 2019, I believe. But basically, what happened with that job was that it was with a very well-known Korean company. I will just leave it at that. Like I don't like but it was with their investment company. So it was a very small like 20-person company, but like I worked there for 2 years and 7 months. It was I'll start from the beginning. But basically what happened was that I got messaged on LinkedIn for a temp position at this company and so I was like okay I'll take it and I'll see how it goes. So I was their temporary receptionist and then I got transferred into full time as their like branding assistant, like helping with their marketing, like uploading things to the LinkedIn, like just letting them know like oh like these articles came up about us or like oh like we can organize like these type of events. Like I was pretty much working almost 12-hour days every single day at that company because I wasn't in charge of just their marketing. I was helping out with their finance. I was doing admin. If I wasn't doing admin, like I would be the backup executive assistant. I would be their office manager. I was also like doing HR stuff for them. I was also like doing like internal events for them and like organizing different things, like booking things as well. Like literally I was also oh god, what else did I do? But long story like literally I was doing all that,
Mm-hmm.
but it was also in the midst of a very bad higher management person basically. He was a direct. So basically, the system with Korean companies is that they send people from Korea to like work in America for like maybe like maybe like a couple of years or so, a few years or so. But my manager was basically that person, and he was also the CFO of our company and the VP and one of the VPs of our company, and he was also my manager. But he was a very large like micromanager. Like if you see any Korean drama where like you see the person in a typical like work setting, that was pretty much very similar to my life. Like I was working 12-hour days, like 5 days a week. Sometimes I even worked weekends. I also like this guy, like he would call my team into meetings for like 3 to 4 hours in a day, and like literally it was just nothing. Like we would literally be in the meeting 3 to 4 hours every single day for like 5 days a week, 6 days a week. And so like we would literally have to work overtime. And then he'd ask us, why are we working overtime? And it's like, oh, because we had this meeting. And then he says, well, the meeting shouldn't have pushed you back that hard. Like you're not allowed to work overtime and stuff. Or like if you need to work overtime, like let me know. But it was also like in the day, it's like update me about this, update me about that, like send me a list, like what are you up to today, like what'd you do, like send me like all these updates and all those other things. And it was a lot of overwhelmingness. And like when COVID hit and we had to start working from home, he would send us text messages. If we didn't respond to those text messages in 5 minutes, then he'd call us. If we didn't pick up his phone call, he'd send us an email. If we didn't respond to his email in like the next 5 minutes, then he'd message us on like the personal messaging apps that we use within the company. And if we didn't respond to that, then he'd message us again. And it'd just be like a cycle until we actually respond back to him. And then also when I worked in the office at the time, I got called a lot of things. Like
No.
he basically called me into the office sometimes, and like he'd be like, what the shit is this work, like you're so stupid, like how could you have graduated college, like what the fuck are you doing, like are you that incompetent, like are you that stupid, like it's like how did you even graduate college, like you know you're nothing, like I only hired you so that you could fill the position here. Like he would literally say all of that to my face. And so that it didn't end there. he I also had stuff thrown at me. Like I would have papers thrown at me, I would have pens thrown at me, like I like almost had like a wireless keyboard thrown at my head, and like I would literally just have to sit there and like take everything.
What the hell? You were getting all this shit within those years.
For 2 years and 7 months.
Your first job and you went through that. That is so abusive. Holy shit.
And like before people ask me what happened with our HR, we actually didn't have an HR. And so
Oh my
like
God.
we actually had to use an HR from another one of the affiliate companies under that huge like Korean like conglomerate type thing. And like they couldn't do anything because this guy was hired directly from Korea. And so like we reported him literally 3-4 times, and nothing was able to get done until I left the company. And so it was a lot. Like I literally there was a lot of PTSD, and like a huge thing that like scratched my pride, which shouldn't have honestly, but like he would literally be like, you're not that good at English, or why are you here, or even like why are you not good at communications, like you're being dumb. And I'm like, okay, like this guy, there's something wrong with him. And like he keep trying to one up me. He's like, like I was at Mensa, like I have an IQ that's higher than like 160, like you're not that smart, like you need to listen to me because I know what's better. And it was like, okay. And like if I talk back, then the conversation or the meeting just gets longer. And so then if I talked and said anything, then I didn't want for myself to be there longer than I needed to be. And so I just had to sit there and I just had to take everything and just like let one go through my ear and out the other. But it's but it was not easy when it happens almost every single day, like every single week, pretty much. And so it was a lot of crying, a lot of tears, a lot of PTSD, and a lot of like me being like, what's the point of me being here? Pretty much.
So how did that end?
So basically, after I left the company, a month later, he got fired.
Wait, so
So
you finally realized you were just tired of that and you wanted to leave? Is that what happened?
I wanted to leave ever since I got transferred. So, but like
Okay.
I had very small, like I had a very small resume. Like it wasn't very corporate related, and so I
Hmm.
wasn't able to find like a different position somewhere because this is like my first job, and like if I left this first job, then it wouldn't look good on me, and it wouldn't look good on my resume, and so I had to just like stick it out there. But afterwards I actually got contacted by a recruiter at a different company, and so I was able to transfer over to there, but they couldn't do anything until a month after I left.
Wow. And then after that, you realized he got kicked.
Yeah, he got fired after I left because I left like evidence of stuff that he was doing. And so
Oh, okay. So you had things to use against him. Okay.
kind of, yeah.
Ooh,
But like
thank God. Man, if he was just still there like running things, you're a champ for that.
oh dude, I was trust me, in that room I was crying. Like I would literally like I would be like I can still remember like I would cry like every single week,
Hmm.
like without fail. Like I would literally just like look at my mom and I'd just be like, "Mom, I'm so tired of this. Like why am I here? Like I want to cry." And like I would just literally start bawling in my seat while I was doing work. And so
Man, okay. And then after the transfer, how did things go from there?
let's just say it was a lesser evil, but not necessarily a better evil if I if I can phrase it that way. Like it was a pretty it was like don't get me wrong, I love the company that I'm at right now still. It's a little bit better, but it's still the lesser of two evils because it's still a Korean company, it's still very Korean cultured, but it's very isolating because for me on my company, in my company, I'm not only one of the youngest people, I'm also one of like maybe three or four Korean Americans, and then I'm also like not Korean cultured, if that's the best way to phrase it. And so they consider like somebody like me like very ignorant, like I don't know what I'm doing. And of course I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to Korean culture because I wasn't born and raised in Korea like the rest of them.
Yeah.
Like I just tell them like I just happen to be an American that speaks really good Korean. But like they forget that a lot and they treat me like a Korean. And so
They
whew,
treated you
they're
like lower class in a sense because you didn't know their ways in the culture.
pretty much so, yeah.
So what was your role there when you switched?
I worked there as an executive assistant. So I was working there as the support for the CEO of the company. And
Hmm.
I was scheduling flights for him, I was scheduling trips for him, I was doing a lot of like I was running around a lot for him and as well as his VIPs. And so like I like there is like one person in particular, I'm not gonna mention who he is because it's like an NDA type thing. But basically like he is a very very picky person and he changes his name, he changes what he wants a lot, like very last minute. And so it's like even if we like schedule everything and even if we reserve everything, he's just like, I don't feel like it, let's go here or let's go do that, like I don't like this hotel, can you schedule this hotel instead? And it like throws off everything. So literally it was just like a job where like you had no choice but to be on your toes even at like 10 o'clock p.m. at night, 11 o'clock p.m. at night. Sometimes I'd be calling at like 11 o'clock p.m. just to like help them out with stuff. So,
Dang, and you dealt with that for how long?
I dealt with that for like almost 2 years, 3 years.
Hmm.
So it was a lot.
Yeah, just as bad. But why did you want to go through with that then? Is it still for the reasoning of like building your resume or what?
Building resume still.
I see.
Yeah.
Man, you tolerated two different Korean companies that, how I'd see it, mistreated you.
Viewed me as less
Yeah.
because think of me as like they didn't think of me as like a crazy good asset. Like even if I tell them like I'm trilingual or like I graduated from college with like this type of degree, like I was literally still considered
Mm,
like like there's a Korean phrasing that's basically like I was just treated as the dog of the company.
yeah. Okay, but so how did that end? And then, yeah, just know that you have like almost 5 years of experience now, so that should count for something.
Yeah, definitely. And like honestly, like being there was a great experience because I also thank God like I was able to like get involved in marketing and they sent me to these different like conventions and I was able to experience like what it was like there and what it means to like write like a proper proposal or like a proper like project and stuff like that. And so it
Hmm.
was it was fun, but like I don't think I could compensate my mental for that.
Yeah, so you learned a lot of different skills throughout your tenure in those two companies, but then,
Yeah.
okay, so what was the conclusion and like where are you at now?
I think so for now I actually got laid off, so I actually don't have a job right now, but I'm enjoying where I'm at because I think I was very burnt out. I didn't have too much of a break in between transferring jobs from one to the other, and so I was just always like on the go and just like not knowing when to take a break, and so I'm enjoying that right now. I think one thing that I definitely learned from my tenure at being these companies is to never compensate your mental for the work that you do because like the only person that's like gonna take care of you is yourself.
Hmm.
Like for your company, like they just view you as an asset and if you don't stand out or if you don't do anything then it's like not worth it for them. And so like it's definitely been it was definitely hard, but don't think I would still have it as a better way because like I still learned a lot and I still view it as like a way of me like figuring out who I was and like what assets I do have and what I don't have and like what companies in particular I would be a bigger asset of, I guess you can say. So
Hmm. Wow, that's a lot that you took on for sure. So, do you have any idea what your next role would or should be for yourself, or that like
um
you'd want to aspire to be?
Yeah, I think I definitely am I'm still leaning into admin and marketing. Those two things have
Hmm.
definitely always been my biggest passions. Like I love assisting other people, like I love being like a part of like organizing schedules and like seeing the story behind particular things and all that. So I definitely want to go there. Marketing is definitely a big thing that I enjoy too. Like the idea of like portraying something in a particular way as well as like making a story behind like a product or service or whatever, like I think it's nice to see. So
Hmm.
hopefully
Awesome.
Stream Elements is working now.
uh oh, I think it is.
Yeah.
Maybe. Okay, awesome. And by the way, thank you guys for tuning in. Whether you guys are lurking or chatting, I see it all. I appreciate y'all. Continuing with the podcast. All right, switching gears right now. We talked about a lot of things relative to your childhood, especially the social
Mm-hmm.
life aspects of it.
Yeah.
So we're going
Mm-hmm.
to talk specifically about your introduction to Twitch and social media. So before we talk about Twitch, what social media platforms are you active on, or what do you currently just like use mostly?
The one that I use all the time is Instagram. I don't
Mhm.
really use Facebook or Snapchat or anything else. It's just Instagram.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, talk about your Twitch journey, how it started, and what it was like from then versus now, or up until
I
now.
don't Oh, I don't even remember when I started Twitch.
Could be as a viewer, right? Or was it streaming first?
It was viewing first. I had an IRL friend who at that time was transferring out of his corporate job and like started streaming just to like have something to hold him up for a little bit. And so I just started viewing him and like just like watching his streams and stuff. Like I wasn't really like he doesn't stream anymore by the way, but like I was just like viewing him and just like just chatting in his stream and just like being like, "Hey, like how are you?" and just interacting with him and stuff like that. And then I don't think I fully got involved until I met you actually. Like it was so I met TJ or Ikigai at what was it? Frick. Head in the Clouds 2021 before I met you. And so I was like talking with him and stuff like that and he said like yeah, I'm on Twitch and like I stream and stuff like that and I was like, "Oh, okay, interesting." So like I decided to like hop on his stream, say hi for a little bit, stuff like that. And then he mentioned that he was coming up to SF to go to a rave and then I was like, "Oh, okay, interesting." And so I was like, "Do you mind if I like come hang out?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure." And like I was like, "Oh, okay." And then actually that was the first time I met you. And then that's when I started getting more involved into Twitch.
So that it
And
was
then
that year,
it was that year pretty
2021,
much.
when you were introduced through your friend first.
Yeah. So that
Okay.
was literally the year I got more involved with Twitch. And then I think it was maybe like a year later, I think I like got persuaded into streaming because I was like networking and like interacting with a lot of people about like about like Twitch streaming and like I saw how much fun it was as well as like seeing how like people kind of like built up more like social abilities and all that and like just seeing how people the way people interacted like based on the person who was interacting with them like I thought it was interesting and so I was like okay like we'll just see how it goes like let's get this started and like I just want to make this as an intention just to like talk to people and like get to know people and like just as a way to like connect and like interact and see like what types of people there are around the world. So that's how I started streaming, but I had to take a year break because my brother moved out and I didn't have a PC no more, so I could not stream for a year. And then I got locked out of my account on Twitch for a good few months after that. So there was that too.
Weren't you streaming before we met though?
No, I don't think so.
Cuz
I don't remember.
to like fit in like the puzzle pieces, I remember meeting you through Kelly. You were already a mod for her and I thought you were already a streamer.
No, Kelly started streaming before I did.
Uh-huh. But
And
your
then,
introduction to her community, like, were you streaming during that time?
no, I don't think so. If I remember the timeline correctly, it's a blur because it was like maybe 2 years back. And so 3 years back.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
meeting you in 2021. So this was like during the fall.
yeah, I don't think I was streaming. I for sure wasn't streaming then.
Okay.
When I met Kelly, I don't think I was streaming then either. Like it was I actually don't remember when my first stream was. I have to double check, but
Okay,
that's
it's
the
okay.
time. Yeah, that's the timeline I remember. It might not be the right timeline, but like that's the timeline that I
Yeah,
remember.
but you were involved with her community first, or how would you describe it? Because I'm aware that you also hung out with her IRL before, like meeting us.
Think so. Honestly, my memory is so blurred. But I think
All
I
good.
did. Yeah, I think I did. But like, I was involved with her community first. I think it was. But like, it's like I honestly forget when. Like I honestly forget the timelines. Oh, it's like,
It's okay. You met a lot of people along the way. So how would you
yeah.
describe that your journey on Twitch? Maybe if you had like expectations and just like your overall thoughts when you first started meeting people versus, just like the whole way up until today.
Oh God. I think when I first started on Twitch, like I didn't think I'd get that involved because I was just thinking like, oh, I'm just here to like support my friends. Like it's not like my
Hmm.
IRL friend. Like it's not going to turn into anything too big, and like I don't know if he's going to stick on here for too long or whatever, whatnot. And then like I started like I think because it was like around the pandemic time, like nothing like I wasn't able to interact with a lot of people IRL, and so then I was trying to find like some comfort and some safety and like trying to talk to other people. And so then like I think that's when like I started getting involved a little bit more. And then eventually I think I think I started getting way more involved I actually don't remember exactly when I started getting more involved, but like I started having much more fun just like interacting with people in general. Like didn't matter if I knew them IRL or like not IRL. Like I still had like a lot of fun just like interacting and just like talking to a lot of people. And so then I think that's when I delved like head deep into being on Twitch.
Hmm.
And then yeah, met a lot of great people. Got to know a lot of great people on the journey, you included as well. Um, Never did in a million years did I think I would meet like people from online IRL or like even be close friends with people like that. And so it's a very fulfilling thing, I guess you can say, for me to be able to like meet up with all these different people IRL and like get to talk and get to know one of these people. And it's yeah, I'm
Agreed.
having a yeah, I'm having a lot of fun. Like never did I ever think I would be like unknown people into known people into some of the greatest friends that I've ever had in my life. And so,
Hmm. The beauty of Twitch, lots of
mhm.
goods. So, and speaking of those, there's tons of positives. You could talk about how else it's impacted your life, but also the negative aspects.
Hmm. Negative aspects. I don't think I've had any so far. I've definitely had some awkward, bad interactions with people, but like I don't think like that defines my overall effect of like the overall of being on Twitch and stuff. Definitely a lot of great positive aspects. Got to meet a lot of great people, got to pick up a new hobby, got to be tired almost every single weekend. Um also just being able to also being able to know that like I have these people that are like behind me and like really try to get to know me, interact with me, and finding like all these like really intentional great friends around. And so I'm very blessed and fortunate to have been on here at least.
Hmm. How would you describe yourself as a streamer then and versus what you have planned since you're making a comeback?
Mm-hmm. Streamer wise, my personality is very consistent with how I am IRL. Like I talk a lot. I love getting to know people. I'm a huge listener. Like I loved like reacting to things, just like sitting here and just like reacting to like whatever you say and stuff like that. Very into playing Valorant, unfortunately. So definitely jumping a little bit more back into the Valorant action. Um, Being able to meet more people, have more meaningful interactions, and like for me it's like if I can just say a hello and like acknowledge your presence and like make your day, like that is enough for me. And like I hope that I do that for people at least, and that like people that want to be known are at least known.
Yeah, I'd say even a hello could go a long way. So
Yeah.
just that acknowledgement and just for people to show support and you just to reciprocate that energy, it's just like very
Hmm.
wholesome.
Hmm.
Do you have any plans for the future, like maybe like set goals for yourself when it comes to streaming?
Yeah, definitely. We're gonna definitely be more consistent. Like definitely gonna stick to like just chatting. But I do want to figure out what type of content I want to focus on more.
Mhm.
definitely, but definitely more along the lines of like just like trying to get to know people and like just trying to make more friendships and more interactions and stuff like that, and like still do the games that I love and not care about what the trends are, because trends can go such a short way, and so
Yeah.
if you do what you want to do, it goes longer. So
Mhm. How would you describe the difference, if there's a difference, between you being online versus in person? Like, do you think people have set perspectives of who you are?
mm, when it comes to being online and when it comes to IRL, I think I'm more tame when I'm online. Like I don't like, because you don't see the person as a viewer, like who they are at least, and like I'm less unhinged online. But if you meet me IRL, like I can be a little, depending on the atmosphere that I'm around, like depending on the people that I'm with, like it's like I can be a little bit crazy. I can be a little bit unhinged, like, but I am definitely always the listener and always like the reactor for my friends and the hype man for like any wins and stuff.
Mhm. I'd agree. Facts. You definitely like to interact, and I feel like you're it's comparable, like the same. Yeah, more so the same in person versus online. Especially
Hmm.
when people actually get to like hear your voice or see you, like just how you act, you know, like share your emotions and just like keep uphold conversations.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yep,
Okay.
that's me.
So that's at least what it's like on Twitch and stuff.
Hmm.
You could talk about some of your experiences, like going, like meeting up with Twitch people. Is there anyone like specific times that stood out to you, or any core memories? Because you've been there's a lot. You were a part of a lot, because I know, because I was there for like a majority of the time.
Hmm. But also, hello everyone that just joined in. But
Yeah, hi
I
guys.
think when it, but I think when it comes to I think my first highlight was definitely meeting TJ. Like TJ was definitely like the person I least like I didn't expect I would have this long of a friendship with. Like um TJ left a pretty big impact. If I were to say like, so the way that we met was at Head in the Clouds, but at Head in the Clouds he was I guess you could say my festival bay. I guess you can put it
Wait,
as, and
you
so
knew of him before that, right?
I knew of him. No, actually, not before that. I met him at Head in the Clouds
Like just as a complete stranger.
as a complete stranger. Like I didn't know who
Whoa,
he
that just
was.
happened to be on Twitch. That's crazy.
Yeah.
No way.
And like I'm not the type of person to like go out of my way and to like meet new people at like festivals or like anything of the sort. And so I was like, okay, like let's interact with this guy, let's just see how it goes and stuff. And then that's actually when I got to meet some of my LA fam. I still talk to them, I still interact with them and stuff. And then that's also when I got to meet TJ.
Hmm.
TJ is still bestie to this day. Like I still talk to him quite a bit and stuff. And time to time we just catch up and like have fun and all that stuff. And so I still have a lot of fun with him, mind you. He's definitely one of the most like he definitely left an impression because he was Festival Bay at Head of the Clouds, but we're just friends now. Nothing is going on there.
Hmm.
Um, his my interaction with him was interesting. Like it was like he was probably one of the more comfortable people that I could talk to and stuff and just get to know better. So it was interesting. That's one of the most that's one impressionable meeting with people from Twitch that I've had.
Or like
Another,
events. Like speaking of events, more so like Head in the
yeah,
Clouds.
Head in the Clouds, yeah, for sure. And then I think the hugest impact was oh god, it's a tie.
Did you go to any of the Twitch cons?
I went to TwitchCon in San Diego before it was in Vegas.
Okay, so 22.
Mhm.
All right, all right.
That was definitely a huge impact. That's why I say it's a tie because it
That
was
was
that
one of
one.
them. Oh,
The,
okay.
I met so many people there. It was a
Same.
crazy amount. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was like, oh my gosh, like why is like there's so many people and stuff like that. And so I was like, I did not expect to meet this many people here. And so like a lot of people that I met for the first time, a lot of people that I still interact with and like are still good friends to this day and stuff. But I think another impactful meeting that I had was actually Millennium 2021. That was another impactful one that I had because that was my gateway to raving. That was so so
Same for me. Like impactful
because
first one.
mind you, on that day, I actually was not intending to stay. I was not intending to go to Millennium. I was not intending for any of that. And I am not a spontaneous person. I am literally the type of person that has to have my day planned and like try
Yeah,
to figure out like what I'm doing in that day. But like, there was something in me that was just like, you know what? Like, let's just go. Like, let's just see how
give
it
it a
is. Like,
try.
give it a shot. And then that was my gateway to this crazy world of raving. But I don't think I would have had it any other way.
Hmm. No, that was a really crazy time for me too, especially because like a bunch of strangers on the internet were down to meet up from like all parts of like the states, whatever, right?
Yeah.
To go to this one location, Airbnb, with intentions of going to a rave together, even though a lot of us didn't even rave like that.
Yeah, that was when I first met Duyan. That was like my second time meeting up with TJ. That's when I first met Vinny. That's when I
The
also first
whole
met
squad.
Chill.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. And I was just like, damn, like this is like this is crazy. Like I was like literally mind blown of like I didn't even get to like talk to these people beforehand. Like I'm just meeting up with them for the first time and I was just like, damn.
Yeah. That was core memories, and I'm glad I got to, just vlog that experience, or at least a good chunk of it. That was fun.
And I'm also glad that you were actually a part of that experience because like never would I have thought like I would have a friendship that would last this long in like a million years. And so
Damn, it hasn't even been that long, too.
mind you, this is actually one of my longer friendships. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah, I get it, I
yeah,
get it.
yeah.
All right, speaking of friendships, we're going back to that path. You
Mm-hmm.
had a really, I would say, just like a sad upbringing, if I'm being honest, right? So,
Yeah.
but you learned a lot. You said it builds character, and you
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't have it any other way.
Mm-hmm.
So, what does it take to be close to you today, and what do you value when it comes to friendships?
Definitely when it comes to friendships, I value honesty and loyalty and just also just overall love and trustworthiness.
Hmm.
I think it's important that I think it's important that when you interact with somebody, like they're giving you information as well as their time and their patience and a lot of other things. And like it's very important to like uphold that like they are giving you all of this and it's only in your position to respect all of that. And then also when it comes to interacting with me, I just want you to be you. Like like I don't care like if you are like a crazy like person that likes to go out and do stupid things and like other that like anything like that. Like I think like if you just start off with a like hi, how are you? Like let's get to know each other, then like I will be more than happy to interact with you. Might be awkward at first still, but like I still love interacting with people. And so
Okay, that's some values and how people would get close to you. It's very interesting to me that I used to think of this quote a lot, where it says something along the lines of like the older you get, the fewer friends you would have. But
mm-hmm.
that's kind of different for you.
Oh, to
You're
total
Yeah, you're getting
opposite.
to that point where you're just constantly making new and new friends, and like a lot of closer bonds, right?
Yeah.
So
Like
it's really cool to just see that, the flip side of it.
Oh yeah, complete opposite. Like I started off with zero, and like now I have many, and I'm just like what is with all these people? And
Uh,
like for me, it's like sometimes to the point of like, what is it that I have that like people still want to stay with me? You know, like
mhm.
I still think about it to this day of like what did I do for them to like want to still like interact with me and like talk to me and like stick with me, and
Yeah.
like sometimes I'm literally just in the corner, just
Mhm.
like hi, like nice to meet you. But like there's also other times where I'm just like hi, like it's so nice to meet you. Like how are you? Like pretty much like that. And so it still mind boggles me to this day that like people want to stay friends with me.
Mhm. I feel like that's just you're just gonna have to let it sink in from like for a long period of time, and it's not a bad thing.
Yeah, I'm letting it sink in and process still to this day. So
Okay, let's have an interesting segment here with when it comes to friendships and stuff. I think something
okay.
important that you mentioned is that you're constantly learning about communication and you're learning how to in a way adapt to different type of friends, right? Through
Mhm.
communication and all of that.
Mhm.
So from your experiences, there's a lot of friends in the chat and there's a lot of friends that you could probably think of on the top of your head.
Mhm.
Um, if I were to ask you which friends that you deem as close, was it easy to get along with versus like it took some time to just get to know them and to be close? And like, how would you describe why that is?
Oh God.
That makes sense, right? Because if you meet someone and you're like, oh, you click right away, you become besties or something, and you could
Yeah.
describe how versus someone where it's just like, okay, we're kind of acquainted, but like it's taking some months before getting to actually know each other to be that comfortable. Yeah,
Yeah.
you get the vibe.
I think one like I like if I were to highlight somebody that like I definitely got close with like very quickly was definitely Michelle. I think she's one of some of the people that I got like really close to instantly because like she's just very chill to be around. Like I had I feel like I could like completely like be myself with her. Like for me, I think because of like the past like traumatizing stuff that happened to me in the head, like it's hard for me to like be myself when I first meet somebody. Like I don't know what it was about Michelle, but like I just immediately just felt like yeah, like I could be myself with no judgment around her, and like I
Wow.
could yeah, like I could be my full authentic self, and like I'm not going to be judged for it. So Michelle was definitely one of those people. There are definitely other people, but like as of
Mhm.
recent she's one of those people. um
Very cool.
somebody yeah, I think there's definitely people that I have taken the time to like interact with and like try to get closer to them,
Hmm.
and like it's definitely like experimentation and trying to figure out what type of friendship that they prefer or what type of friendship that they want, because there are some people that like with particular people they're like this is the type of friendship that I want with you, where it's like we may not talk for months, but like if we ever talk again, like it's like we could just pick up where we left off. There's like other friendships where it's like oh like I like want to talk to you like every single day and stuff like that. And then there's
True.
also
Good point.
there yeah, there's also friendships of like I just want to meet up with you IRL. Like I don't like being like the technological person or like texting and like all those other things.
Hmm.
But I definitely like it's just accepting the type of friendships that those type of people want, and it's like there's some people that you'll figure out oh like this is a type of friendship you want like right off the bat, but there's like other people with like other types of friendships that are just like this is like you have to ask them more of like what type of friendship do you want, like how do you want to interact with me, like what type of friend do you want to keep me as, or like do you want to even keep me as a friend, like that's definitely like questions that I would ask people in trying to figure out what they want, or it just naturally turns into like this particular type of friendship, so it's like
So who comes to
it's
mind then if it comes to like the ones where it takes a while to like get to know?
takes a while to get to
but that you
know.
are close to with now? Because
Mm,
Michelle was someone who you easily clicked with. Was there
yeah.
someone else that is the opposite that you probably didn't expect to be close with and just became close?
I'm trying to remember.
It's okay. This is all on top of your head. If not, you
Y-
could just let me know later.
Yeah. I think off of the top of my head, somebody that definitely took me some time to like get used to. If I'm being honest, I think like with you, for me, it took me some time to warm up a little bit. I
Okay.
think I think
Okay,
it's
that's
cause
fair.
like yeah, I think it's cause like you reminded me a lot of my parents. Like your personality type is like I would say very similar to like how my parents are. And so then I think like it took me some time to like be like, okay, like
Wait, did you just compare me to your parents?
no. Like don't get me wrong. Like
No,
no.
okay. Okay, I'll let you finish, but just remember, you said it was like talking to a wall, okay? And I
No.
that's crazy.
At first, please don't get me wrong. At first, but
Mm-hmm.
but then I realized like you're you're different because you have a lot. You have more empath abilities. Like when I'm talking to you, like for me, like it was just hard to figure out like is this guy like I was very wary and cautious because it's like I don't know what you're thinking and it's like is this guy like does this guy not mind me being around? Like does this guy mind me being around? Does he not want me around? Like is it okay for me to be around? Like is it okay for me to be here? Is it okay for me to say these things? And like for me it was like took some time in the sense where like I was just like over bombing myself with a lot of thoughts. But like the more I got to know you, the more I got to interact with you, it's like, oh, okay, that's just how he is. And it's just like, oh, okay, like I can definitely be myself around him. So I warmed up. It's not like
Uh-huh.
it wasn't you, but it was just more like me being overly cautious.
Yeah, because of like previous history and just learning more and more about people. I get it.
Yeah, it was definitely that. No offense to you. I love you, but
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that's
yeah.
just me. Yeah.
Do you feel like there's someone that you want to get close to? Just curious what if anyone comes to mind.
Oh, lots of people.
Okay.
Um,
You can only name
Lots
one.
of people. I can only name one?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Top of your head.
oh no, that's so hard. Oh god, there's so many people. I can't choose one person.
Okay, it's fine. Next question. So
um, okay, I'll name one person.
go for it.
Jazzy. Jazzy is one person I definitely want to get close to. Because like
Wait.
we're always
Oh, okay.
yeah, bestie. Like I call her bestie a lot and we interact a lot and like we're always talking about like let's go to this rave, let's go to that rave, like this is what our costumes can look like and all that other stuff. So like I definitely wanna like talk to her more and like interact with her more because I love her and like I think she's a huge vibe and like I just wanna talk to her and just be like I love you and all those other things. So there's that.
Okay, serious question, but or based on curiosity more so.
Okay.
When you when people use the term like besties, right?
Mm-hmm.
That signifies as that's interpreted as best friends, right? So, would you say you use it differently or more loosely? Because in the regard of like Jazzy, for example, you're not
Mm-hmm.
necessarily close since you do want to get close to her, but you're able to call her bestie, right? What's
Yeah,
what's the
like
mindset behind that?
I think with like particular people, like I don't mind calling them bestie. Like I have multiple besties depending on. But like I think like I call them bestie not only as like oh like I think we're really close, but it's also like oh like I want to get to know you. Like I want to talk to you. Like I consider you in a very particular position and like I want
Hmm.
to like get close to you and stuff. Not that like that term bestie is like important to me. Like I
Like a
think
title type of thing.
yeah, like no, it's not like a title. Like for me, it's just like a name I call you. So basically, being like for example, like if I call you Wilson, like I don't call you bestie, but I still consider you as a very close friend. But like I think the way that I like call people or like interact with people, like it just changes like by the person. And so
Yeah, I definitely feel like it's by the person or like the
yeah,
dynamic you have with someone.
yeah. Like
Okay.
just because call somebody bestie like doesn't necessarily mean like they're my best friend or like they're my close friend. Like it like my dynamic changes from person to person. Like bestie is just a title or like a name that I call that person.
Okay, but you do have a bestie though, right?
Oh, I have lots of besties. I have
Like
tons of
no,
besties.
no, like an actual like close best friend.
Oh, yeah, I do.
Okay, so what's the difference between your relationship with that person or persons?
Oh, so this person has known me for almost, when was it? 7 years, 8 years? Like she knows me almost in and out. And like with her, it's like a type of friendship where it's like we don't have to talk to each other all the time. Like
Okay,
we don't, yeah.
to stay
Like we don't
close,
have,
yeah.
yeah, we don't have to talk to each other all the time to stay close. And like
That's like
we
low
just like,
maintenance then.
yeah, like
Friendships.
we just pick up where we left off. And like that's the type of friendship she wants, which I'm okay with. Like for me, I'm the type of person to cater to whatever the other person wants. Like what type
Mm-hmm.
of friendship the other person wants.
Go with the
So it's like
flow.
very go with the flow. So it's like if you want a friendship that where you want to talk to me 24/7, like I'll try my best. If you want like the type of friendship where it's like, oh, like I'll call you whenever I need you, like okay, stuff like that. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's like for me, it doesn't matter how often I talk to you or how often like we hit each other up. I think for me, it's more of like for me, it's just more of like how much intention is there for us to get to know each other.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. Very cool. Just to know about that, like the best friend aspect, like the dynamic. Do you have any like particular red flags when it comes to friendships, or maybe from past experiences too?
Ooh, red flags. um, I think one huge red flag that I've always had is that I don't like making decisions. I am a very like go with the flow, like
Oh,
whatever
you're talking
you
about your
want to.
own right now. Okay, okay. Do
Yeah,
both.
yeah, yeah.
Like what rubs you the wrong way when it comes to other people, but also your
Okay.
own then.
Yeah, my own is definitely I'm not good at making decisions. Like I hate making decisions. Like it's like for example, it's like it could be as light as like, oh, like where do you want to go eat? It's just like, I don't know, where do you guys want to go eat? Or it's like, do you guys want to get boba? Like I don't mind getting boba and like whatever. And like that's something that I'm trying to work on, but like I definitely am not good at making decisions. I hate making decisions of anything. I'm
I
always
noticed that.
very
That's a good point. I noticed that. Okay, here's the thing. I'm calling you out on this though. Like I'm just
okay.
because I want to know your mindset, like what you're thinking about when you do these things, right? So,
Okay.
for example, if it were to be a rave, right?
Okay.
Say there is a
Yeah.
rave next week, which there is. Okay, that's a joke, whatever. All right. You wouldn't like you would be down to go if someone were to ask you, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
So you wouldn't make like a firm decision, but if anyone were to ask, you'd be like, "Okay, I'm down." Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so if it's that and it's settled that you're going to go to the rave, why is it that sometimes when you agree, you would nag? Like as in
Nag.
complain. Like you would do your thing. Like you'd be like, "Oh my god, I'm going out again. Oh my god, my life is so fun. Fuck." Like, why do you do that? Okay, that's a little. It's just as dramatic, but not the same words. You get
No,
what I mean?
no, I get.
Like, you, if I'm being honest, you do it so often that I'm like immune to it now. I'm just like, Cherry, relax. Okay, you agreed to go, then we're going.
I think it's
Like that's
like
fine.
I think
Why are
Faden
you
put it
complaining?
best. I think it's I think Faden put it best. It's like when extroverted me makes plans and introverted me doesn't want to go anymore. Like that's literally how it turns out. Like for me, like I told you, I'm the type of person where like if I stay at home, then I stay at home, and it's like there's extroverted me where it's like I want to make plans, like I want to go
Uh
out,
huh. Uh
but
huh.
then I'm like, but then I'm like. But then sometimes like I book myself to the point where like I don't give enough time to introverted me anymore, and so then I'm just like, oh shit, like what did I do? Like this is like not the best thing. I know I don't regret it at the end, but
Uh-huh.
then in the beginning I'm always just like I'm no.
I know, okay. Cause like to me, I'm just like I'm thinking like, why is she being so dramatic about this when she knows she's gonna have a good time? Cause then sometimes it's expressed in front of people we're not really close with or we don't know too well. So
Yeah.
in my eyes, it's like it could lead to a bad impression. Like not towards
Yeah.
you, but maybe to me or something, because it makes it seem like you're being forced or dragged out. You know what I mean?
No, you don't like. FYI, he doesn't force me or drag me out. I'm the one that says yes. Just saying. But it's like I think like when it comes to like me, like I always, I always overbook myself when it comes to these things. But yeah, I always tell Wilson I'm always like 90% of the time I'm down to go. But like, yeah.
So you just do it for the theatrics then.
Also, I go for FOMO too. Like
Okay.
I get really bad FOMO, and so I'm just like I don't want to miss out on anything, and so
Okay,
yeah.
okay. All right, now that we got that clarified, I thought that was really funny to bring up. And some people in chat also feel the same way.
You calling me out on a podcast is crazy.
Hey, we're supposed to just talk about whatever, you know? It's fine.
True, true.
Okay, so go ahead and you could continue talking about like the red flags or icks that you might get from other people, maybe, or if you have more about yourself that you want to talk about, sure, go for it.
I think a huge ick that I always see with people is like, no, Drew, you're not the ick. I think a huge ick that I see when it comes to friends is like when they or like I don't know how to best phrase this, and I'm gonna try to best phrase this as I possibly could. But it's like when they talk about drama that's not related to them, if you get what I'm saying. Like,
Oh, okay. Like in a bad
like
light or what?
in a bad light. Like if they're trying to like get advice on something or like opinions on like a particular situation, then like yes, I get it. But like I think like talking about drama for the sake of making even more drama than is necessary, like I don't really like want to participate in those type of things because
Oh.
it's like that drama, if it doesn't have anything to do with you, then like it's not something that you should talk about because it's like I don't think you fully understand the situation that is going on there. So it's like what's the point of talking about a situation that doesn't involve you as well as you don't know the full context of that situation, because situations like could go on for like even before you even got to know the person or like whatever, and it's like if you talk about the situation out of context, it's like you're adding more details that might have not necessarily been a part of it in the first place. So that's like one of the biggest icks that I can think of for now, at least.
Okay. Oh, interesting.
Hmm.
So it's like adding fuel to the fire unnecessarily.
Yeah, that's a huge of like uh-oh, like I don't like I'll still be friends with you, but like I don't think if you ever talk about these type of things I want to be a part of it, at least.
Okay, yeah, I get it, I get it. It's like fishing for drama, and you just don't want to be like involved in like conversations like that either.
Yeah, so like if I hear those type of conversations, I'm just like, oh, I see.
Yeah. So you kind
That's
of
pretty much it.
stay away from it, exclude yourself.
Yeah, because like there's so many other better things that you can talk about, like getting to know the person in front of you and stuff. But
Okay.
yeah, that's like one thing I don't want to be a part of.
Uh,
Unless it's the person themselves that's involved with that drama that brings it up to me.
yeah.
Hmm.
Have you found yourself in any particular drama or just like involved somehow when it comes to
Mm,
friendships?
just in general, or like on Twitch specifically?
Just either.
Mm, As of recent, not really. Not that I know of. Like, I don't think I'm involved with any drama. I'm just chilling with life and vibing. But
Okay,
like,
that's good.
yeah, I don't remember. I
Have
don't
you
know if I am.
have you had a significant like friendship or like a fallout from a friendship? Like a one that you consider close?
One that I consider close. Yeah, I have. Like, I don't want to go into specifics about that one, or like there have been a couple other ones, but like
Mm-hmm.
for me it's like not necessarily like something bad happened. For me it was just more like that friendship just naturally like fell away, and I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. But then like there's some other ones where it's like miscommunication and like misunderstandings and all of that, and like it just ended up as like the friendship just broke, and like
Mm-hmm.
that was just like the basis of it pretty much. But like, from even from broken friendships and even from like friendship fallouts, you just learn from those, and like you're just like, okay, like that happened, and like just coming to terms with it, and like just knowing that you might not get closure from it, and like unfortunately like not a lot of friendships or anything of the sort, like if a fallout ever happens, like you might not get like full closure from it, and then you just have to like come to terms with that and focus on the other people that are willing to invest in you.
Yeah. Well said. Will, thank you for the 2-year resub. I appreciate you, man. Thank you, thank you. Hope you had a great birthday weekend, by the way. Okay. So we're gonna switch gears right now. You're still good, right?
Mhm.
Okay, cool, cool. This is more so towards significant others in relationships, so just express yourself to whatever like your level of comfort, okay? Yeah, just like a heads up. How do you show that you're interested in someone?
um I actually, like I can be very obvious, like I feel like I'm not obvious, but I am obvious. Like, so when it comes to somebody that I'm interested in, like I can be very direct if it's somebody that I'm very interested in or that I'm comfortable enough to be direct with.
Hmm.
But like if it's like any other guys that like I'm interested or such, like I kind of just stick to myself. Like I don't really like do anything too much.
What's
Like
your
I'll
Oh, go ahead.
oh like I like kind of just like sneak peeks at them and stuff, but I don't try to act on that unless it's, yeah.
Wait, so like you would be interested but then you wouldn't act on it.
Not really.
Okay, okay. So is it more like the other person has to take initiative type of thing?
If the other person could take initiative, yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. Sounds good. What's your specific love language?
My specific love language is number one is quality time, and then number two is what was number two? Oh, number two was words of affirmation. Number three is acts of service. Number four is touch. Number five is gift giving. For me, receiving at least.
Hmm.
But
Okay, how about the other way around? Like what's your best like love language?
the best that I give is quality time. And then
Hmm.
the second one that I like giving is touch.
Okay.
And then third would be acts of service. Fourth would be words of affirmation. And fifth is gift giving. But like small margins. Like
Hmm.
it's all pretty much same level, but like small margins wise, that's like the order.
Okay. Do you think you have Riz?
I don't think I have Riz. I just
Rate
I,
rate your Riz, unspoken Riz and spoken Riz, 1 through 10.
unspoken Riz, I probably am at like a 2.
For
Spoken
unspoken?
spoken Riz, if it's with the girlies, then I can Riz it up right there. But if it's like with
Mm.
a guy, then I'm at like a 0. I don't say anything.
Damn, you gave yourself a 2 and a 0.
Like I really don't think I have Riz.
Okay, that's in your eyes. I understand. I, as a friend, I think you're lying, but it's okay.
No, wait. Then tell me, like, what do you think then?
No, I think you have to give yourself higher credit for like unspoken riz, at least from what I've seen. So
Wait. Tell me though.
no, I'm
Okay,
not trying to expose you.
no,
Relax.
just give me a number, and then I will be like,
Okay,
okay.
you have the capabilities of attracting people.
How though?
Well, see, it's unspoken. You're is it, am I right or am I right?
It isn't spoken. You're
No,
true.
you don't.
But like,
Okay, of course I'm right. I know what happened. I'm not trying to expose you. Just go with it. Okay. Anyways, yeah, this is Cherry's podcast, but not like to expose her. Okay, gotta have boundaries and be respectful. All right, so
no, he's trying to expose me. No, I'm just
here,
kidding.
let me, escape from this question, but like kind of change, like turn it around. Tell me a story of how someone's hit on you.
I've had like, I think when it comes to raves, I think one way that guys have hit on me is asking me if I wanted a shoulder ride. Like, and then I would say like, "Oh, okay, sure." And then I would feel bad that they gave me a shoulder ride, so I would be like, do you need something in exchange? Or like, if it's somebody that I'm interested in, I'll be like, "Oh, like I'll buy you." Or if it's somebody that I'm not interested in, then I'll be like, "Oh, like I'll buy you a drink," or like whatever, whatnot. But if it's somebody that I'm interested in, then I'll be like, "Well, if you need somebody to dance with, or if you need somebody to hold, like you can do that with me." And so,
Oh shit. Okay. That's
yeah,
some spoken riz right there. Okay. I didn't even know. I didn't even know that was a thing that you've done. Holy shit. Wow, we're
yeah. So
learning.
if yeah, so if it's somebody that I'm not interested in, then I would be "Oh, here, like I'll give you a candy, like a bracelet, or like whatnot, or like whatever I can give them." But like if it's somebody that I'm interested in and they like approach me and they like do all that, then I'm like, "Okay, yeah, sure. Like you can hold
Okay.
me, you can dance with me if you want."
Damn, I was gonna ask you these questions about like raving later, but damn, I'm taking notes early, guys. Taking notes. Alright.
Because if I'm being honest, the only people that have actually hit on me are at raves. Like there's
I
nobody.
mean, that's fair because it's like a social event. You're going out and you go to a lot, like pretty frequently, you know?
Yeah, quite a bit.
Hmm. How do you shut someone down and still be friends?
Whew. Um. Oh God, who have I done that with anyone yet?
I don't know.
I don't. I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember if I've done that to somebody. I think honestly, it's just all about drawing boundaries and like drawing lines and just being like, hey, like, thank you for being interested in me, and thank you for thank you for like your feelings and stuff, but I'm so sorry I'm not interested, but I hope we can still be friends and stuff like that. Like I think communication when it comes to like any like relationship to friendship or like interest to friendship, like stuff like that, like communication is very important to me.
Hmm.
So,
Wow.
mhm.
Okay, well said. That was like a really professional and eloquent response that you could give someone.
Oh, that's what I've gotten, or that's what I've done too. So like,
That's what you've gotten to?
yeah,
Okay, so like that's in regards to being in the friend zone.
yes.
Do you want to talk more on that? Like how you find yourself in the friend zone and like what that dynamic is like when you're there?
It's definitely it's definitely hard to manage at first, but you eventually start drawing lines for yourself. And like I think like especially navigating that is definitely hard because you get so used to it and like it kind of becomes your safety net. But like that's when like you need to be daring and like start like discovering and like approaching and like figuring out other things. And
Hmm.
so like whether I'm friend zoning someone or whether someone else has friend zoned me, like it's just me trying to like get out of that like safety pocket of like because like being like having those feelings can be considered like a safety pocket because you're just so used to having them.
Yeah,
And like
yeah.
that's when you like that's when like you kind of like jump out of the net and you're just like, I'm gonna fly and I'm just gonna see what the world is like and just like try to figure out like if there's anything else out there for me type thing.
Oh wow. Okay. Nice metaphor to use right there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you believe in right person, wrong time, or the one that's gotten away?
Mm, right person, wrong time, or the person that's gotten away. Yeah, I definitely do believe in those. Like, I definitely believe, like, depending. I think this is like the timing of like when what is it? Like I think definitely depending on the person's like life circumstances, it's like maybe they're not ready to like jump into whatever is like this person is in front of them, you know? And
Mm-hmm.
so like I think like when it comes to like right person, wrong time, that I think that's definitely true. The one that got away, maybe not much as so, because I don't think there is like I don't necessarily believe that there is like the one. Like I believe there's like multiple people that will fit for you because it's depending on like what your life stage is in life, and like you're
Mm-hmm.
always changing and always evolving and always constantly like growing into like a new identity, no matter if it be like on a weekly basis or yearly basis or like a daily basis. Like it doesn't matter, like you're always changing into a new person. And so then there's gonna be like a person for you or multiple persons for you depending on what stage of life you're in. So I don't believe in the one that got away, but I believe in the right person, wrong time.
Mm-hmm. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so moving forward, do you want to talk about like your dating history from beginning to where you're at?
If I'm being honest, I have zero. I don't have that much dating history. Um,
Okay, but like, how about okay? That's relationships. How about like just dates and stuff then?
Dates? I didn't start going on any dates till last year, actually.
Mm-hmm.
My very first date that I ever went on, it was like weird, awkward. I don't know how to best phrase it, but TLDR, long story short.
Uh-huh.
Basically, I went and like we were supposed to go to a comedy show that night. And this guy, like we went and got coffee before and I was driving us to SF to go see the comedy show. But he had failed to mention that that we were going to see his sister and it was his sister's birthday and we were going to see her at the comedy show.
Okay.
then,
Nice.
then I was like, oh, okay. And so our first date, we went to the comedy show, met up with his sister, and then his sister invited us to a rooftop bar. And then we went to the rooftop bar, and then afterwards, I drove us home. And that was an interesting date.
So now you like from that date, now you have set standards, kind
I
of,
do.
right?
Yeah, I do have set standards.
But it doesn't seem like he set the bar high.
Not really, no.
Okay.
It like I could tell there was like I could see that there was a lot of things that we didn't necessarily match up on. And so
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, I don't really think me and this person are gonna vibe well together. So I was like, never mind.
Okay. So that was last year, and then
Hmm. Never went on a date since until this month, actually. So
ooh, it's up to you. Do you want to talk on it or no? Like,
yeah, I can talk on it.
okay, okay.
We didn't do much. It was actually a really so it
Thanks for being here,
was
everyone. Appreciate
hello
y'all. I see
everyone.
y'all. I see y'all.
Why is everybody saying that I have Riz? I do not. Can you please stop? Like I really don't.
Yo, they're hyping you up. They know.
No, I do not. What are you
Yeah,
guys
sorry,
talking
sorry, I
about?
interrupted, but you're talking about your recent date.
So it was very back and forth. Like he was debating between Monterey or SF, and so I was like, okay, like wherever you want to go. And then he messaged me and was like, okay, we're gonna go to SF. And then I was like, okay. And then the morning of, he was like, oh, I got tickets for the Monterey Bay Aquarium. I totally forgot. And I was like, oh, okay. But he offered to pick me up and drive us down. So he drove me down to Monterey, and we just hung out at the Monterey Bay Aquarium. Really nice. He was very gentlemanly, very courteous, very like made sure that I was well taken care of. We just walked around, had a lot of conversation. It was like very simple, but I do like simple dates, so it was perfect. It was like with the intention of like getting to know each other and stuff. And then afterwards, like we just like sat in his car and like we just chilled and like we just talked since we were both tired, and so we were talking for a while, and then he
It's
drove us
good.
back up, and then we went and got boba, and from there.
Okay. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. Stop there, stop there. Anyways.
Stopping there.
So all right. So what would you say your type is when it comes to like a significant other?
Like,
Okay, okay, guys, guys, guys.
Other.
I don't wanna leave a cliffhanger. I'm just gonna say like what happened, TLDR version. Okay, so after they decided to get boba, they coincidentally bumped into where I was at with a few other friends. So they walked in, and as soon as she saw me, she was like, "What the hell?" And then she ran out, and I'm like, "Is that Cherry?" I'm like, "Oh shit, they were on a date." Okay, yeah. So it was really funny that of all places we bumped into her.
He saw the guy that I was on a date with, so it
Yeah.
was like a little.
Because that was no, but I like him. He's really really cool. So I just didn't know that she was going on a date that day, and we just ended up at the same spot of anywhere, any place in the world. So that was so crazy. No, but the thing is, like, we've met him before too. So just like a little more backstory, but I don't want to get into like full details. Yeah.
So my mindset on that day when I ran into you guys, I was just like, oh, like I haven't had this place in a while, and like we were just walking, and then like I saw all 5 of you sitting there, and I was just like, oh shit, and I just like,
Yeah.
I was like, oh no.
No, it wasn't awkward to me, but I can imagine it being awkward for you since you guys were on a
I didn't
date.
tell you guys.
Yeah, you didn't tell
that
us.
I went on a date.
Like you don't have to tell us, but it's just so funny that we ended up at the same spot.
I forgot to tell you guys that I was going on a date.
Yeah,
So
it's all
like,
good. I'm just like, it went well though.
it was good.
Okay, so it was better than your first one. Would you say?
Much better.
Oh hell yeah! Okay, now you have standards.
Yeah. Michelle was there too.
Higher standards. How's the aquarium though?
Honestly, it was really nice. It was really relaxing. Like I felt like I could be myself and just like talk and just like
Mhm.
and just like interact and just like get to know him better, and like it was really wholesome.
Okay. It was Tancha, by the way. So, yeah, talk about like what's your type, ideal personality and appearance.
Uh Ideal personality wise, like I don't have like a specific, but I just want somebody that like vibes with me well, that like matches me well.
Mhm.
Like or like me that like I just want somebody that is themselves and just meshes well with me.
Okay.
Easier to say. And then looks wise, I think I only have one like I only have 2 requirements. Like there like for me, like I don't have like a definition of like who's like good looking necessarily. I think it depends like person by person.
Mm-hmm.
And then but like I think when it comes to look wise, like yeah, at least if they're taller, hopefully.
Okay.
Yeah.
So one thing's taller, and then just mesh as long as they mix with you, that chemistry or something.
Yeah.
Got it.
Hmm.
um. So how about on the other side? Do you have any like specific red flags that you look out for, or any like potential deal breakers?
If they have two timed before, that's a huge red flag. Or like that's the huge ick. And like I just turn them down immediately. Because it's like because once like once a two timer, like you never know if they're gonna do that to you again. And so like there's definitely that. Two timed basically means if he's like with cheating on two different girls basically. But I think another red flag that I see is like what's another red flag?
Could be anything that like it's an ick turns you off.
Oh, consent. If they don't take into consideration like what consent, because I think like for me it's important to ask for permission or to figure out like what your boundaries are through communication. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like if they do everything like willy-nilly without asking if like what is okay or like what is all right and stuff like that, like I don't think that's I don't think like that's courteous enough to the
Mm-hmm.
individual, because the individual could have like different boundaries than like what you have for yourself. And so like I think it's important to interact and just say like these are my red flags and like this is like what's going on with me pretty much. So
Do you have any red flags for dates? Like date ideas?
oh, date ideas. Movies are definitely a huge first date red flag for me, because
Okay.
it's like when you go to a movie you don't really talk, you just like watch the movie together. I
Mm-hmm.
would say like that's probably after maybe like a few dates or like a few times of getting to know each other. Like I would say movie as a first date, not really.
Okay.
Well, that's amusement parks I would say too, because it's like you don't, as a first date red flag, because it's like you're not really like getting to know each other there either. You're just like, let's go here, let's go there, like let's go to this ride. And it's not necessarily like getting to know each other. So I'm like, yeah, definitely not that.
Mm-hmm. Do you
But yeah,
have do you have like a dream date?
not really. I'm a person that likes simple things. Like
Oh, okay.
I like even if I'm like just sitting in the car and just like talking to you, or like if we even just like go to the gym and just like
All the gym
just work
too.
out.
Okay.
Yeah. Or like even just like going out to like get dessert or like get ice cream or stuff like that. Like if I, as long as I get to talk to you and like get to know you on like the first few dates, then like
Mm-hmm.
that would like that would be like my dream date. My dream date is just to get to know the person, just like figure it out.
Okay. Nice. So that's like talk about dating. How would you say you're doing now, like mentally overall? How are you mentally?
Mentally, I am a lot better, I would say. Freaking Will. I'm so sorry. I saw his comment. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
but I think um, when it comes to um, wait, I'm so sorry. Say the question again.
How
Freaking
are you doing mentally?
how I'm doing mentally. I'm doing a lot better. I would say that I have definitely been slowly recovering from burnout.
Mm-hmm.
I was definitely at first like not in the bestest of conditions, and I was struggling quite a bit because I was just like taking everything day by day and just like trying to like live just like live basically and survive, and I wasn't like trying to live life to the fullest. And so now it's like I'm slowly starting to enjoy like life as it is, and I'm starting to enjoy like meeting up with friends a little bit more, and like seeing like just talking to people and just like interacting and like just seeing how things go. And so I'm enjoying it.
Awesome. How do you cope with like being sad and unhappy nowadays? How do you deal with
How,
it? Your
how do I hope
stresses.
with it? So I get stressed easily. I've realized that. And so when it comes to like my stresses, like I think one huge thing that I started to do is like journal and like just write down like what's been stressing me out and like what's been going on and like what is kind of like triggering like my stresses. And so that's definitely been helping out a little bit. Another huge thing that I started to do was like I started to go to the gym again and just started to like kind of de-stress and like kind of like just take it out on things. And then one big thing that I've started to resume is like doing my hobbies, which is like dancing and like painting and all these other things. And so I've been trying to do things that I personally enjoy for myself, just for myself, and not doing things for other people. And
Hmm.
like also like going out and like fully enjoying like the rave experience and like events and stuff, like without having to be stressed out of from like work. Like
Yeah.
it's been good.
Nice. Yeah. Happy for you. Good mix of things that could keep you occupied for sure.
Hmm.
Um, how do you feel like you help others, like when they're in need or if they're feeling down?
I do anything and everything that I can for them. Like if they like I ask them like, do you need anything? Like it's like, oh, do you want to like have a call? Do you want to talk about it? Like do you need help processing anything? Or like it's like, do you need food? Do you need medicine? Do you need love? Do you need a hug? Do you need any like for me when it comes to like my friends, like any of my friends, like if they're within driving distance, then I will drive over to where they are just to like give them a hug or just like sit with them if they ever need it, because it's like I know what it's like to I know what it's like to be alone and to struggle and to like not have anybody around you. And so like if it's within my power and if it's within like the what's the word for it, if it's like what I can do,
Mm-hmm.
then I will like do what I can. But right now I don't have money, so I can't do anything. Like I can't like
Yeah.
give money to
Need
people.
a you
But
need a
like
job. You need a job.
I need a job.
You have
I need a job.
restrictions.
Yes. Like but if it's within something that I can do, then I will do that.
Yeah.
But not
No.
too far.
Real one
Driving
though.
distance not too far.
Real one. Mm-hmm. Oh my god. Yeah, don't be a Jade Choi. Let's just leave it at that.
What's
Um
Jade Choi?
no. We're leaving it at that. That's after the podcast talk.
Oh, okay. I'll just leave it at that.
So next, do you feel like you ever compare yourself to others?
Oh, always. I always am comparing myself.
Yeah, and it always leads to like negative, effects for sure, right?
Mhm.
What's your thought process around that?
So, pretty much, like, as you know, like, as I talked about, like, before, like, pretty much all my life, it's always been comparison. Like, I was always compared to my brother and, like, the
Mm-hmm.
expectations that were there. And, like, I always ended up comparing myself to my brother and comparing myself to, like, my cousins or, like, even, like, anybody else around me. And it was just basically, like, why do they have friends and, like, I don't have friends? Or it's like, why am I not as smart as this other person? And it's like these other things. But then I think for me, I've started to come to terms that, like, I come to terms with, like, like, this is me, and, like, my life is my life, and my life is unique. And, like, I myself am a unique person. And, like, definitely comparison is the thief of joy. And like I'm starting to like I still compare myself to this day. Like we're only human, like we're not perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And like I'm starting to learn that like there's perfection within the imperfection. That like it's okay for me to not be this way or to not be that way, because just because I'm this way, like I'm still unique. Like I still have people around me that like will love me and appreciate me for where I am. And it's like if there's somebody that can't love and appreciate me for me, then I don't need them.
Facts. Okay. Yeah, so I would agree. Just don't compare yourself to others, guys. Everyone's unique in their own ways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well said. Ethan
Yeah.
Joy.
Yeah. I think like one thing I definitely like want to especially highlight here, because it's like comparison is always and forever going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
But I think one huge reminder that you need to do for yourself is that you can try to be someone else, but nobody can be you. Like you just need to be yourself.
Yeah, very wise words. All right. So with that being said, you have your own direction in life. What are
Mhm.
your current short-term and long-term goals?
Short-term goal is to find a job. That's a big one right now.
Yes.
Um Long-term goal career-wise is for me to find a job that to find a place that will appreciate me for being me and the assets that I bring to the company. Another long-term goal that I have is to definitely like date, get into a relationship, find somebody that like will appreciate me for the person that I am like evolving into and stuff like that. And like also just continuing to search for, because your identity is ever growing and like ever evolving, and like you lose parts of yourself and then you gain parts of yourself, and like that's just the whole process of life, and just like trying to figure out what it means for you to be you. I think that's like a long-term goal, and like of course like there's never going to be an end goal of who I am, but like I know that like I'm always going to be somebody new every single time like I meet new people. So just enjoying what life brings me, whether it be people or circumstances or all those other things, and just learning to enjoy whatever is there for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I think I've started to think that like no matter what situation, whether it be a bad situation or a good situation, like there's always something to learn from it. Even in the moment, you're gonna be like, oh, like shit, like this is such a bad situation and stuff like that. But like you're gonna look back on it and be like, if it wasn't for that, like I don't think I'd be where I am today.
Mm-hmm. What's the biggest risk that you've ever taken?
The biggest risk that I've ever taken is not immediately looking for a job after I got laid off. Like I realized I needed that break, and like I felt myself rushing to find a new job as soon as I got the news that I got laid off, and I was just like, "Oh my gosh, like I need a job, I need a career." And like I don't have anything to define me and like all those other things. But then like I reminded myself like I deserve a break. I deserve to give myself some time, because
Mm-hmm.
if I'm not going to take the time for myself, and if I'm not going to learn to like appreciate myself and like practice self-care, then there's nobody else that's going to do that for me. And so like I think the way that I think about it is like if I want to take care of others, then I have to take care of myself first. Because like if my cup is like not full and like it's like half empty, and like I'm trying to like give everybody else this care, like I'm pouring water into like everybody else's cup, but I'm not filling my own. And the only way that I can fill my own, like to the brim, is to take care of myself. So, like learning to be okay with prioritizing myself, and learning to be okay with self care and just being like, you're fine. Like, I think that's a huge thing.
Yeah, beautifully said. Seriously, you're dropping a lot of knowledge, and I'm glad that you've, endured so much and matured to this point where you just realize that and you could just really reflect while growing at the same time. Reflecting and growing.
Trust me, I don't want anybody else to go through the experiences that I went through because it's definitely traumatizing and definitely like a lot. But like, I think for me personally, I don't think I would want to ask for a different life.
Oh yeah. I don't think anyone should. Okay, it depends on the circumstances, but like in this case, that's a deep
Yes.
one actually, now that I think about it. So we're gonna jump into some lighter topics. Okay, yeah, I just cut myself off. Like, nope, not gonna get into that.
We'll get into that
So
like maybe like off screen.
EDM, right? Beautiful, beautiful world that we dove into. Well, at least you did back in 2021, November 2021, during Thanksgiving weekend. I remember that. Great times, great times. Talk about
Yeah.
your introduction to EDM and what makes you like EDM or like just the scene.
So, if you guys don't know, my first introduction to EDM was Millennium 2021 when he was performing at Bill Graham. It was a very last minute decision. I was talking with Vinny and Duyen and Wilson at a table up in SF, and they were talking about, yeah, we're going to Millennium tonight. Like, you should come, and all those other things. And I'm just like, huh. Like, I've heard about them. I've seen my cousin go to them, and I kind of want to see, like, what it would be like. And so, I was just like, you know what? Like, live your life, just see what it's gonna be like. And so I was just like, okay, like I'll just go. Like let's just see how it is. And so I bought my ticket for Millennium that very day, and I went off with Wilson and the others to Millennium. And like mind you, like that first experience, like I wasn't mentally prepared, so I had a low key anxiety while I was at the venue. But then like I got over it, and I was just like, okay, like I'm gonna have fun, and like wow, I had so much fun. Like feeling like the bass like just like ring through your body, and just like hearing like all these people just like sing all these songs in unity, and like me just standing there not knowing a single song and just being like, oh, okay. But like I was admiring the camaraderie that was happening there. I was admiring like all the people like having a lot of fun. Like I didn't even know what popping was. I didn't even drink that much and like all that stuff. And I was a baby. I was just like, oh my gosh, this is so much fun. And like seeing like all the candy exchanges, I was just like, oh my gosh, like there's candy. And I was just like, wow, like this is so much different than like a normal concert. And so that's when I started like diving head deep into it for sure.
Wow, what a great way to describe your first experience. Yeah. So
Excluding the anxiety attack.
yeah. I remember. I remember. So how would you like since you recall your very first time,
Mm-hmm.
what advice would you give to new ravers or like just baby ravers?
Give yourself a lot of time to mentally prepare because it's definitely different than a normal concert. Like the way that people are dressed at raves is definitely gonna boggle your mind a little bit. um I think another thing that you need to prepare for is like getting like ear like noise reductioners. Like those would definitely help because the bass is gonna definitely go hard for sure. Um, but I think a huge thing that you need to prioritize is definitely your mental stability there because you're gonna like it's a culture shock for sure.
What's your favorite EDM genre or artist?
I think my favorite EDM genre, oh, I would say it's a tie between dubstep and melodic. Definitely those two. Melodic, like I can't ever forget about because it was my introduction. But dubstep, I like my brain is definitely hooked onto that one for sure.
Okay. Any specific artists?
Melodic wise, I think I'll always either be a Dabin or a Slander Girl. Illenium on the side. I don't want to say Illenium because that's a very typical answer.
Whoa,
but...
whoa, no, that is fine. That is a wonderful answer. Don't shy away from it. What the hell?
Okay, I'll say Illenium. Illenium
Okay.
is one of my favorite artists. Like
Mhm.
I can't say that. Dubstep wise, definitely Excision and definitely Wooly. Those are my two biggest ones so far. Since I've only been to their concert raves. So
How do you like to dance, or like what are you like at raves?
it depends on the genre. Melodic, I definitely like a little bit more like hip sway. I don't know how to best describe it.
Okay.
Like I definitely vibe with the melody a little bit more. When it comes to like the hard hitters, I definitely go hard. Dubstep wise, I go crazy. It's so funny because when I was at any dubstep concert, people thought I was on something, but I just love the vibes and I just take in the vibes and I eventually just go like neck breaking, back breaking, head banging.
When do you first headbang? Do you remember?
When I first headbanged?
Yeah.
Oh god, I don't remember when I started headbanging. I think it was dude, neck breaking bestie. If you phrase it that way, then that's gonna look weird on me. But I think the first time I ever headbanged was at Arm& Hammer. Or no, Set the Sky. Set the Sky was probably the first time I broke my neck.
What the fuck?
Huh?
Interesting. Okay.
I think I Set the Sky.
So this guy has like that. Everyone like thinks that Set the Sky is very like way too chill and melodic when he plays live sets. So it's very like, yeah, it's very unique for you to say that.
I think that's like the very first time.
Okay.
Because I think because at that time that was probably like my second or like third time I went. That was just like I was having so much fun and I was just so into the music. I was just like this is so much fun. Like it was just literally me.
You've evolved. You've evolved since that. Yeah.
I've evolved.
People are just like, wow, you're such a vibe. What are you on? I'm sober. What the fuck? You don't seem like it. Yeah, I can imagine your conversations.
It's so funny because when I was like talking to people like when I'm talking to people like after the rave, they're just like, "Oh, were you on anything?" Or even like during the rave, they're just like, "Are you on anything?" I'm like, "No, I just drank a little bit. I'm sober, kind of." And I'm just like,
yeah. Do you like to side quest?
at first I didn't, as you can tell, like probably most of the events that I've gone to was with you. But like at first when I started, I was very like stick with the group. I'm kind of scared and all that. But then I do tend to like I started to side quest a little bit more. And like that's like I tend to like started to like find other people and like maybe my vibes like match with theirs a little bit more than like our groups and stuff. So
yeah. So you would just go off to like meet other people basically.
yeah, or like I just like accidentally wander. Accidentally.
Wow. You're like the equivalent to a female Vinny.
What?
Wait, whoa, don't take it as a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing.
Like
Like sober, side questing, straight vibes going popping off, you know? Yeah, just don't take it the wrong way. You're like about to cry and shit. My bad, I shouldn't have said Vinny. Okay. Alright,
I'm about to cry because I'm laughing.
Yeah, I know. But when you think about it, it's pretty true. Like, you guys have the same tendencies and stuff. Yeah. It's all good. It's all good. Charizler. That's what they said earlier. All right, so you've described the rave culture. What was your favorite event that you've been to so far?
Oh, my favorite event that I've gone to thus far. I'm gonna say side piece. Side piece was probably my favorite one
Why?
because because that's where what I'm
I
gonna
was gonna,
say it. You
I
know,
was,
you
I was,
know what? You know what? But I'm
no,
gonna say it.
my intrusive thoughts. Well, I was gonna just say some like really foul shit, but no, no jokes, no jokes. Okay, we're good, we're good, we're composed. Okay, cool. House music. Wow, yay,
I'm kidding. I'm
cool.
kidding.
How
I mean,
about?
I mean, I definitely, I, I definitely like side piece. Like, yeah, that was like my first house event, but like that was so much fun. But I think if I had to say like seriously, like my general like most favorite event, it was probably Excision. Excision, I like had so much fun at. Like the vibes were there and all that. So,
Wow,
hmm
that's surprising. Like, are we talking about shows and festivals together? Because you've been to so many festivals.
I have
Hmm.
show wise, I think Excision was my favorite.
Okay.
I think my favorite festival wise, I would say oh. I would say Slander at Countdown was pretty memorable for me because it was raining then, but like the vibes were still there and like I think that was the first time I ever felt like
Oh
free
my god.
basically.
2022 slander. Woo!
Dude, I loved headbanging in the rain. Y'all gonna think I'm crazy, but like headbanging in the rain and just like dancing and like not caring that you're getting wet and stuff like that, it's so much fun for me.
I almost died that day, but good on you. Damn. All right, at least you had fun.
Yeah, I had fun.
It was so cold. Holy. Cold and
Mind you,
rainy.
guys, I had like no poncho, no nothing, no umbrella. I was literally just like soaking wet in my clothes, and I was just like,
And I was just near death. Holy. Um so what was your do you have any pet peeves when it comes to raves?
oh, dude, I have quite a bit.
Go
Like,
for it.
I think one thing is when people don't say excuse me, or when people just like shove and like don't even like have the courtesy to be like sorry. Like, if you're gonna go somewhere, like make eye contact with me, and then at least just like point where you're going to go, and then like I'll give you like a pathway to go there. Or like just be like, excuse me, so sorry, can I go this way? Or like, can I go this way? Like that's like as long as you do that, you won't break the vibes of anyone. You're at least being nice and courteous.
Mhm.
But I think another big pet peeve that I have is like when a guy tries to come on to a girl and the girl keeps saying no and the guy doesn't get the hint, even if he's saying no. Like
Real.
there's a reason why the girl says no, and there's a reason why we drag her away from you. Like that's a huge like if we weren't at the event, like I would probably have like I would probably have like slapped them, whatever, whatnot. And I was just like, yeah.
Valid pet peeves, honestly.
Those are like the two biggest pet peeves that I can think of so far.
Mhm. Okay. So realistically, how long do you think you would like to rave for?
Um,
Longevity, what is the future looking like?
longevity wise, I would probably say in the next 2 years, 2 to 3 years.
How would you come up with that number? Like that amount of
Mm,
time?
I think it's just because like I know I'm never gonna like fully retire, but like just going on like these like benders like every single week, like I would probably just be like I would exhaust myself for sure. Like I'm
Mhm.
already like hitting the exhaustion point right now, And so I'm just like, okay, like I don't know if I can keep it on for that long.
Uh-huh.
Maybe even after the 2 to 3 years, like maybe like once in a while, but like I wouldn't be like oh my gosh, like let's go on a bender like every single weekend. Like I'd probably be like, let's go once a month or twice a month.
For sure. Anonymous, thank you so much for the gifted sub. I appreciate you. Cerulia, welcome in. Thank you guys for lurking. We're getting near to the end of the podcast, still talking about EDM and raving, the experiences. Okay, so how have you evolved over time as a raver? Since your very first one in November of 21, and now we're in 24. Lots of events lined up.
Mm-hmm.
What has changed the most about you, like when it comes to raving? The thought process, energy you give off, any?
I've started to side quest more.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I think that's just like the biggest one that like has happened thus far. I think another big one is like the way that I dress. Like I'm not as like self-conscious of myself when I dress for raves, and so like it's given me like the freedom to express how I want to. Um I think another big thing is that when I go to raves, like I'm just there for the vibes. I'm not bothered too much by other people around me as long as they say like excuse me or I'm sorry. I think another huge thing that another huge thing that has changed about me since starting raving is like I'm a lot happier. Like I'm like enjoying myself a lot more when I go to raves. So that's definitely a huge thing for sure. Like not as much anxiety, and so like definitely learning to enjoy it. It still happens once in a while, but like not as frequently as when I first started. So
Awesome.
that yeah, that's what I can think of for now.
All right. So I'm gonna ask you the question that I ask everyone.
Okay.
Okay. So what is a rave bay, and how do you and how do you get one? What are the moves? What's the Charizler way?
Do I
Yo,
have
everyone,
to
get your notes. Get your notes ready.
do I have to answer
Get your
this?
documents, whatever. Tight, right?
But do I have to talk about my situation?
Whoa! What doesn't have to be like specific like examples. You just talk about it. Like, what is a Ray Ban? How do you get one?
Um, I think like so a rape is definitely like a rape is like a boyfriend or girlfriend for the night, depending on. It's like acting on like it's like based like it's just basically like you like dance with each other for the night or like do what like a guy or girl does for the night and stuff like that and just like it depends on them if like they want that to evolve or not. Like it depends mutually on the both of them. But and how do you get a rave bay? I don't know. Like I just like
Based on your knowledge or whatever you've
oh
done, I don't know.
I mean it's honestly never planned. Like it's honestly never planned how to like when you get a rave bay or you know anything based off person. Oh my god.
Okay, it doesn't have to be planned. It's just how do you get one?
Oh, how do you get one? You're just nice or you vibe with them. Uh, you like yeah, like you're just basically like nice or you vibe with them. Like for example, like I just like made pathways for people or like I just like vibed with people and then they just ask me if I want a shoulder ride and I'm just like, are you sure you want to? And like stuff like that and just being really and just like being really kind. Like I think I'm just like nice. Like I just like
Okay.
like mm, like I don't know how to best phrase it, but like for me, like whenever like yeah, like it's just you're just basically nice or you vibe. Like it's just either the two. Like for me, like when it came to like anybody else around me, I'd make sure that they're all okay, or like if they're vibing, or if I see somebody by themselves, it's like if they're like having fun or stuff, then like I just make like pathways for them and stuff like that, and like that's just how you like start to like minorly interact, or you could just be like, do you need gum? Do you need anything else? And like I like
Mhm.
used to always like carry a backpack on me with like water and like gum and like glasses and all those other things. Then like I just like offer it to them. I'm just like, hey, do you want to use it? Like, do you want to like do you need something? Do you need anything? And
Oh,
just
okay.
like kind of using that as a pathway to kind of like talk to them a little bit, I guess you can say. And so like that's how I got to yeah.
Okay, so you gotta be nice, offer some things, services, or whatever. Leave room for Jesus. I got it. Quite a lot. Okay, from a girl's perspective, how do you show that you're interested then when it's at a rave?
How do you show that I'm interested? Um I don't know because I don't show interest. I just like chill there and like if they show interest in me then I show interest back in them. Like I just
Oh.
like
So
or
they
like
just
for me
approach you. You don't like really leave any hints or anything.
I don't really know. Like sometimes
How about generally then, if not specifically catered to you, but what you know about other girls?
what do I know about other girls? Other girls they just randomly go up to the guy and just like ask him to dance with her. But like that's what I know. But
That's okay.
for me I'm too like for or like
Courage.
I think for me, it's like either the girl goes and asks you to dance with them, or sometimes the girl, like for me, like since I'm shy, for my shy girls, some of them might just like go up and like grab your hand and just be like, hey, you know,
Okay,
stuff like that.
so
So,
how about from the guy's perspective? What do guys have to do in your eyes, or like from your thoughts?
guys, be courteous, please. Not all girls are there to like look for rave bays. I think for guys, definitely, girls like it when guys are nice and courteous and polite. Like I think one of my biggest pet peeves is like if the guy gets a rave bay, but like the guy doesn't give a shit about like the people around him and stuff, and it's like only like the girl, and it's just like, bruh, like there's like it's just like I don't like it. Like I think, or another one of my biggest pet peeves is like when the guy has a rave bay, but like the guy isn't conscious of like what's going on around him outside of him in the rave bay, and I'm just like give some space please, you know, like there's other people around you, so being conscious of
Oof.
that too, yeah,
More icks.
that's a
Yeah,
huge
pet
thing.
peeves.
Yeah,
Yeah, not
like
being aware of your surroundings.
yeah, believe it or not, like I think for me personally I like it when guys are courteous and nice and just being like, do you need pathway, do you need stuff like that, so
Yeah. See, that's what I meant by offering services. Like in in Cherry's regards, she offers the services of creating space, or leading a pathway for people, being like a security type of thing. I see you do that, so yeah. Okay, thanks for sharing your thought process about like what a rave bay is and how people are to get one. Definitely be respectful, everyone. I hope you guys took notes. If not, you guys could see this on in the VOD or in the YouTube section if you need to play it back. Yeah, just be nice. Just be nice. All right, last few
yeah,
questions, and thank you guys all for being here. Of course, appreciate y'all,
like
live audience.
niceness, yeah, like niceness gets you a long way, like people don't realize it.
Yeah, just get ready for the exam, right? Whatever facts she's spitting right now, you guys need to be ready. What's up, Quan and everyone? Haven't seen you in a long time. Appreciate you, man. I don't. I got the homies. That's all I need. Homies and vibes. All right, we're gonna wrap things up with what I usually ask. Let's see. All right, what was your first impression of me, like IRL and also online? Because I remember we met back in 21 with like the gang.
Yeah. IRL, I was actually like, I'm just generally like this. I'm just very wary of people when I meet them IRL for the first time. I think the first impression I had of you was that you were very like this is not describing you right now. But first impression wise, like I thought you were very like wholesome and very like kind and very like
But you said I'm not that right now.
no. Let me freeze.
Wait a second. Hold up. Okay.
Like you said first impression, but like let me get through it. Let me cook.
Okay.
But like first impression wise was that like you're wholesome and like you're kind, and that you're really sweet, you're really considerate, like you're really nice, you're a really good communicator, you actually do listen, and like you're very considerate of other people, and like that impression is still the same, like, but also adding on to like what I know about you now is that you're very intentional, and you're very, what are some other, like, intentional, sweet, like you know how to draw like your boundaries, and you know how to respect other people at the same time, and like you also are just like you're just one of the best people I know. That's like the best that I can phrase it as. Like my first impression of you and my impression of you now hasn't changed much, except that I have a bigger respect for you, and I have a bigger admiration of you.
I appreciate that. Thank you. That is crazy. The AVP. Don't do that. No, Quan. No. We literally just talked about her mans and everything, like relationships and stuff.
What do you mean?
We did. They could play it back.
Why did you expose me? We shouldn't even deliberately talk about
We're talking about the date. Okay.
Oh my god.
No, I appreciate it. That's funny as fuck.
I hate you. I didn't even say when it was.
You literally said last month. Or like this month. That's so funny. Okay, it doesn't have to literally be like your mans, but like a mans, you know, that we talked about, okay? Relax.
I am relaxed. I am
Okay,
chilling, but bro.
Hey, you've been spitting a lot of, knowledge for people, and yeah, we're learning a lot about you, so I appreciate that. I appreciate it though for like the first impressions and everything, and since like we've gotten close ever since we like hung out for the first time with everyone, and you're still here today, even though you don't stream much. You're still active, and you just go to all these events. Like, you're really down. And yeah, just looking forward to the brighter future, since we still have a lot of events and things to look forward to in general.
Yeah, like even though I don't even if I like only express it once in a while, I think it's important to communicate it. But like I always like appreciate like the times where like it's just us in the car, and like we're just talking, and like I get to like share some of my thoughts, and like I get to hear some of the things that you're thinking about as well. And like I appreciate our conversations because you give me like a new perspective on things too. So I'm always learning from you. So
okay, on the flip side, you have to be brutally honest, okay?
Okay.
What don't you like that I do? Or anything that comes to mind. This is your chance to talk your shit. I can't be offended.
You're not gonna be offended.
No, I'm not.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, if there's one specific thing that you say, it might trigger me, but in a jokingly way, but go for it. Nah, that's the one. See, Fane, I'm fucking this guy.
I honestly don't think you are. Like, you may, like, looks wise, but like I don't think you are.
Looks wise?
Looks wise. Like, I don't think you are. I don't think you
Okay. I'm gonna let you speak. Go ahead.
Sorry, but you told me I could be honest, so I'm just being honest. So like,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
dude, now I'm scared to talk because I see your face on the stream.
No, because I said that's like the only thing that I thought of that I didn't want you to say. It's okay, you're honest, you're honest.
Okay, but here's the thing, I don't think you are.
Oh, okay.
Like, I don't think you are. Look like it, but you're not like that. Like, I know you. Like, I don't think you're that.
See, guys, I'm not that. Proven.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Like, I think for, like, but honestly, like, I don't see any pet peeves from you. Like, I think, like, yeah, I don't have anything that, like, I'm icked on from you, or, like, anything that I don't like from you, or, like, a pet peeve from you. Like, I don't see that too much.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Like, if I, like, I wouldn't, like, no, never mind, I'm not gonna say that.
Interesting.
I'm not gonna say anything. But, yeah, no, I don't really have anything.
Is right. I don't know what information you're holding. I gave you an opportunity, all right? So.
Okay, fine.
Okay,
I'll
go.
say it.
Mm-hmm.
But like, this just has to do with like,
It's
this just has to do with
okay.
our personality differences.
Yeah. Of course. Go.
Like,
She's talking shit about me. Go ahead. Go. No, I'm letting everyone know what this part is about. This is her chance to talk her shit. This builds like friendships. All right. You break it and build it. You know, kind of like muscles. Recovery.
I think one thing that like I kind of had to like get over and like realize like you weren't gonna do that for me is that you're not much of an empath. Like, you're not like, you don't like emotionally like for me, when I talk to you, like when I talk to you about like certain concerns and all that, like you definitely like respond in a very like logical, like very reasoning, like very neutral type way. But like for me, it's like when I talk to you, like sometimes like I want you to be like, oh, like how are you feeling in that moment, or like how are you feeling in that situation? But then I've learned to eventually accept that like that's never gonna happen. But like, if I wanted like a very logical perspective on a particular situation, then like I could talk to you about that. But like, yeah.
Okay. All right. I appreciate that. The honesty.
But like that's literally the
real.
only thing that icks me.
I definitely can, you know, be like empathetic and show like that the emotions. Viv out here exposing me because like I let her talk shit to me. That's how I cried that one time. But it's like it really depends on the dynamic. So honestly, like, because when it comes to like the times that we've talked, it's more of like you expressing yourself, and I'm just trying to be there. But I'm not the type to be there. At least for you to just be like emotional as well.
Yeah.
I feel like I just understand everything.
Yeah.
And I could only use words rather than like emotions to just like express like sympathy or just to make you feel better.
Yeah, like that, like that's why I've like learned to accept like, oh, this is how Wilson like is gonna express like how he's there for me, and like I've just accepted it as that. And so I'm not like, but like that's just like the difference that we have. I'm not saying it's like a bad difference. Like we all have like personality differences with no matter like which friendships that we have. And so then for me it's like I've already accepted like this is our difference, but like I still think of you as like one of the closest friends that I have.
Yeah. Likewise too, and I feel like it's not even just towards you, it's with like a lot of different friends I have. That I just act that way, you know. Just not very like emotional, more so I'm just more of like a listener, and I perceive everything that's said, and then I just try to at least, you know, help them understand or just get through it in my own way.
Yeah, and like I'm like
Yeah.
I like being friends with you over the years, like I've learned that, and I'm just like, okay, like that's just how Wilson is. Like he's a viper and all those other things, and like no matter how much he changes or whoever he becomes or whoever he turns into be, like I will love and appreciate and support him wherever he goes.
Yeah, I'm always there for my little bros and sisters out there. That's why we have that type of relationship. Yeah, go
I
ahead.
remember-
Tell me all your problems. It's fine. It's fine. You'll
I just remember when we went to that SB19 concert this past year, I think, or last year, I think it was just us two, and like you were like filming me as if you were like a proud dad. I was like,
and you were just like the awkward child.
I was
Yeah.
just like, yeah, I was just like, wow, Dad's proud of me.
Yeah, more vlog moments, see. Okay. That was like a good chunk of all the questions I had. Do you have any questions or any topics that you wanted to talk about?
I mean, not really. I mean, if chat has any questions that they would like to ask me, I am very much an open book. Like, I will talk about anything and everything. So, like, if they have any questions, they are more than welcome to ask.
Yeah.
Or forever hold their peace.
Favorite drink at raves?
Favorite drink at raves?
Baggy Bandit.
I think my favorite drink at raves is oh god, I don't even drink at raves. I think the
What?
only thing that like I don't get a drink at the raves. Like I get drinks before the raves, you know?
Oh no, yeah. You also
Yeah.
drink like more so at clubs too.
Yeah.
Huh.
I drink before the raves, so like I think if anything my favorite go-to drink is either a beatbox or a soju before we go in for pre-gaming. So there's that. What other questions are there? Why did they call you the baggy bandit, bro?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give that context. So basically, what happened was that we were at Millennium. I forgot what year that was. 2022, right? That one was at Chase Center.
That
And
was
so
no, that was last year. That was last year in June.
Oh, okay. But basically, what happened was that Santi had like a bag of I think it was tequila,
Mhm.
Henny.
It was like tequila.
Yeah. So in my head, I was thinking like the bag was like one shot, right? Like a whole bag was one shot. Like don't mind.
It's like a pouch, like a blood bag type of thing.
Yeah. So in my head I was thinking like, oh, this is like one whole shot. Then that means I have to like drink this entire thing. And so then I drank it all pretty much, and like I left none of it for the other people because I thought it was like one whole shot. And I felt so bad, and I was just like, I like kind of knocked out for not even knocked out. I kind of got drunk for a hot minute, and then I recovered, and I was fine afterwards. So now I know I can survive 5 shots at once.
Yeah, that was her POV. But in our POV, like we walked up as a group, as a collective, where Santi, or it was either Santi or Drew that offered the bag, and you just happened to grab it first, and then we just see you freaking chug the shit out of that thing in multiple gulps, while everyone's just watching you, and I'm just like, nah, I'm not dealing with this. So that's what happened, and she just emptied it. I don't remember if Drew was at that.
Because that was my first experience with a pouch. I was just like, I don't know what this is.
Yeah, power moves. She's just like, wow, this is like a really big one shot. How can I keep gulping this? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then, wow,
But now I realize I could survive 5 shots, but I get drunk and then I come back up.
Yeah. You learn from your experiences, like you said.
Yeah. So there's that. What's another one?
I don't know. It's just like in general, it's nice to have like people bring in pouches. Honestly, you guys are so clutch for that.
Yeah. Favorite favorite drink or go-to club drink? I always go for a Red Bull vodka, but recently I've been really into Midori sours at clubs. So
Hmm. I feel like our group usually gets the same thing, so yeah, there's that.
okay, bro. With that, like, I didn't know. I didn't know, Santi. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. All right, back on track with the podcast though. We're just gonna wrap things up unless you have anything else that you wanted to talk or ask Jerry. Now's your time, but if not, we could just always talk like offline, just whenever. I learned a lot about you for sure.
um, has your perception of me changed since I've told you all this information?
Honestly, no. I feel like I knew about most of it, but it's kind of like just hearing it again and then just like in more depth. Yeah. So for the most part, I've always held you like at a high regard as a close friend too. So I just learned. I guess I learned that it's like not a joke. Like you just know how to, spit information like that. Like you could just keep talking on and like providing insight and stuff. So that's pretty cool.
And then
oh, and yeah, I've already known about this, but I feel like you just put up with so much, especially at work. Yeah, you definitely take on a lot of tasks and like burn yourself out. So I learned that.
What are some things that you now know about me that you didn't know about me before? That you were kind of surprised about?
The unspoken Charizzler, like what you're capable of at events. You've evolved, you've blossomed.
Thanks, Dad.
Into like a one of a kind. It's okay. As long as you're happy, it's just interesting and great to see growth. Yeah. Aww. Like just like Michelle, you both got that dog in y'all, and you just don't know it. Yeah, she couldn't let it out for too long. That's why she took a break.
What?
but for you, yeah, you're still going strong.
Why are you bringing Michelle into this?
Because she said that.
I mean, you have to bring her into this.
No. She's the one that said it. She said it too. You got that dog in you. You just gave me inspiration. My bad. It's jokes. It's friendly talking.
Okay. Anything else that you're surprised about that you kind of learned about me today?
I don't think so. I think things I could point out. It's like it's cool that you're back on track and you're gonna try to stream more and just like you get to interact with more people and you have more. I know you have more time and stuff, so it's nice that you're spacing things out, like activities. You know what to do now if you're like feeling down, and I definitely see growth. Like I really do. I feel like you had a lot more doubt before. And you question a lot of things like friendships, like different type of relationships you had with people, but now you're more understanding and communicative, and then yeah, like that's what I can think of as in regards to growth.
Aw, thank you for being willing to keep the friendship with me and for being part of the journey.
Yeah, and if you want me to talk my shit, I'll save that offline.
I mean, you could like bet, speak it right now, or forever hold your peace.
Nah. Might have to save that for another episode.
Oh, is it that? It's gonna be that long. For that long.
Everyone was taking notes about you finding Ray-Bay. I was taking notes of something else. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. All right. That's a good.
You want to go?
That's a good conclusion. Yes, I need to go to the bathroom.
Guys,
hey, we're keeping things real here. We're keeping things real. No, we're not fighting. Positive vibes only. Positive vibes. Hey, you're the security. Come on.
What do you mean I'm the security, bruh?
Provide the services. No fights, no fights. Okay, but on a real, I'm gonna conclude things for the podcast episode. I'll let you do your thing, and I'm gonna get back to the stream after I take a break. Oh, and the timing there, Ben with the raid. Welcome in, Raiders. I hope you had a great stream. Thank you so much. We're concluding this podcast episode at
Wait,
least.
what do you mean I'm Diamond 3 in side quest? What do you mean?
Deleted scenes, negative vibes. Talk your shit with Wilson. That's so good. That's actually so good. Man, that's funny.
Oh, Cato!
Yeah, thank you guys for dropping by the stream. This concludes Chat with Wilson, episode 11, the podcast featuring Cherry, aka Cherry Korean Girl. Make sure to follow her on Twitch because she is a fellow streamer, exclamation guest. I want to give shout outs to you guys as a wonderful live audience, and for those who are watching on YouTube, thanks for tuning in. It's been fun getting to know Cherry. Do you have any last few words, Cherry?
Yeah, honestly, thank you all so much for stopping by the podcast. I'm so glad I was able to. I'm so I can't talk now. I'm so glad that I was able to get to talk to Wilson a little bit more, get to know all y'all. Especially getting to talk to Wilson. We always talk offline and like in real life together, but it's nice to be able to have this conversation with him, and it just makes me more fortunate and more happy to know that I have a great person like Wilson as a friend. And so yeah, like I love you and appreciate you, Wilson, always and forever. You'll always have my respect and stuff, and I'll support you no matter what. And thank you so much, chat, for being here. And if anybody in chat needs anything, honestly, you guys are more than welcome to DM me or just like let me know if you need anything. Also, always down to hang out since I have more time to hang out with everybody, anybody and everybody that's in the area. So, yep. Love y'all.
Hey, there you go. Appreciate you for the kind words. Thank you so much for being here. Just know that I love you too, and I hope that we'll continue building this friendship, and we'll see where things go with everyone, because we got a whole squad now. A lot of people that are just like on this journey together, whether if it's on Twitch or streaming. Yeah. All right. Take it easy. Enjoy the rest of your night, guys. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to like and subscribe. Tune in to the next episode on Thursday. So in 2 days, guys. All right. Peace.